Okay. Hello and welcome. Here we are once again. It is a Sunday, which means it is very likely that we are going to be doing our Pathfinder stream. Let me log into reactive images real fast and make sure that we can get our icons in there. Okay. I think I see you two as well. Oh, yes. I'm going to do that right there. Okay. Got it. Had to hit the transition button. Like I said, there's so much stuff to do with streaming. So here we are, back again. Did you know that there is surprisingly little art of Shunies?
I was to say, it's a little dog person. Sure, they come in varieties.
Lots of varieties, but you'd think that being tiny dog people, there would be tons of art about them because they're supposedly very cute. So, let's see. You guys went and checked out the Nog fish storage and sales place, and Nog was like, I need you guys to get out of the front of the store, or away from the front of what is essentially not actually a store, but a fish storage warehouse.
Right.
At the behest of Nimblehorn Fingeldingle. I believe so Nimblehorn wasn't too sure about his suspicions, but it was either going to be Gufriar, Nog, or Shortroot. One of the two of them, at least as far as he could tell. So I suppose the task that you guys are on right now is figuring out how to figure out who was responsible for, if anyone was responsible at all, what happened to Horbert Fingeldingle.
So we're out of the way of the shop. What time is it?
Probably mid-evening, like 5, 6 o'clock.
In this area, this is more of the industrialist area, or is
Yeah.
this still kind of like in the midst of the celebrations and stuff?
This is much more of a... Well, we're outside of the city now. We're in, what was it? The east, like, fishing village that's just outside of the city walls on the river. So, yeah, sure, there are gonna be some people that are still celebrating because it is a village outside of the city. But this area that you're in is primarily going to be working people and, like, warehouses. The dock is like a good stone's throw away. Like, if Regia made a strength check, she could probably throw a rock to the docks from there.
She could probably throw a rock into town and hit. But
very, very possibly. She did jokingly recommend coming back after hours to snoop around, perhaps without anyone noticing, but that was because she was feeling antsy. Though that doesn't mean that it's entirely off the books either.
So, Garma, Marcos, what sort of evidence are we looking for? We need some sort of concrete proof that one of these two groups may have something to do with it, right?
Seems that way, yeah. I don't know, maybe like...
I'm not opposed to sneaking in if that's on the table. Garma.
I mean, I don't think we'll have an issue sneaking in. Just what is oh my god, why can't I remember any names this morning?
Regia leans over.
What on earth are we gonna do with Regia?
She's looking away, but she definitely has one of her reptilian ear holes poking right over at you guys. She's like leaning over top the entire group, just listening in, but pretending like she's not.
I guess Regia would be a great lookout.
She's like, I mean, I'm not like advocating for breaking and entering. I mean, just don't break anything. She says, while still not looking at you, being as conspicuous as possible while thinking that she's not being conspicuous at all.
The only other thing I can think would be going to the Fishers Guild and talking to them again. But how far is that going to get us?
Marcus shrugs. He's like, I don't know if they have a whole lot to do with, like, going the in and out of here, because that's mostly, like, him and his employees. Marcus looks over at Regia. It's like, do you wanna... I don't know if this will work, but, like, we could try to form a distraction? Regia looks down at him and then over at you guys. It's like, I mean, that might work. We might be able to make a distraction. I could probably knock over one of his fishing carts acting like I'm drunk.
Is this place definitely empty?
I mean, there are people in it. You'll probably need to sneak, but...
Yeah, I don't see something like this panning out very well in broad daylight. 6
Yeah, that was-
p.m., whatever.
Like we could
Well,
always.
do we know their hours? Do we know what time they close?
Marcus like leans around the corner and looks. There's a sign that says that they receive until 8th bell.
Less people would be here then.
I mean, we could always go back to the. We could always check out.
The dwarf you terrified with my pet.
I say we could check out the other distribution company to see if they're friendlier, or we could go back to the guild to gauge who benefited from, if anybody benefited from, the deaths. I don't think a sneak now is a good idea.
Marcus nods in agreement. It's probably not going to be easy to do right now. Maybe later, though, but probably not right now.
I mean, the other thing is, can we take a run at... Should we just take a run at Faniel about how he knows about a lore he shouldn't know about? Like, maybe we're making this more complicated. Like, not a run at. Obviously, strong-arming him didn't work last time, but maybe there's a way that we could get the information just based on what we know. Or maybe we can't.
Regia leans over. Maybe you just need a stronger arm.
I mean, I'm not opposed to hurting him. He did really irritate me. But I'm also trying to figure out what the best course of action is for getting information we need. I mean, either way, if we're gonna sneak in, we have to kill a couple hours, so we could always go check the other place out and see if they're friendlier just by nature. Maybe they'd want to talk to us without us having to do anything very complicated.
Let's do that. If you remember the way, lead the way.
So I'm pretty sure Marcus would know because he's from here.
I've got a pretty good idea of where the short route, like, pescatarium is.
Lead the way, good sir.
Let me see. So let me bring up the map of Eldor. So if you guys look on the map, the area that you're currently in is just above that index down there. And that is East Village, just outside of the Trade District. So the Pescatarium is in Pilgrim's Place, back around where Faniel hangs out. So it'll, I don't know, maybe take 15 minutes to walk it. It's not that far. It's also not hard to find once you get there, if that is where you're going.
Right, we could kill two birds with one stone if we see Thaniel there again.
Right.
All right. So, back to Pilgrim's Place. The Pescatarium is easy to find, just like the, fish storage and sales was. But this place looks much newer. A little more industrialized. fresher paint on the walls, a nicer sign above the door with a very friendly looking cactus person holding a fish. Again, there's a receiving area up front, and the Vitsock standing outside that is in a uniform with an embroidered like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like the company emblem of the cactus person holding a fish on their shirt. They're standing outside the front receiving area, and they're currently talking with another merchant that has brought a cart of fish up to them. The cart of fish that they have brought to them is bigger than the carts of fishes that Nog was getting. That is immediately noticeable. And that's probably relative to their location on the river being closer to the side that connects to the sea, the actual sea, as opposed to the side that connects to the inland sea. But the building's immense. Probably only one story with really tall ceilings on the inside, but the windows aren't barred up, or rather aren't blocked up. You could see inside even if they are barred for, as an anti-theft mechanic.
Okay, so who's out front again?
A very large Vitsock man. Surprisingly pale for a Vitsock. They're usually a little more tan. Brown hair pulled back into a braid. Wearing a green and blue uniform.
Okay, but a fish merchant is out there too, right?
No, there are no fish merchants. Oh, yes. The guy that he's talking to that is, checking in the actual shipment. I was thinking for a second, like, a fish merchant of the pescatarium, and I was like, probably not. But then I was like, wait, probably.
So I think what is readily apparent is that this place is newer, moving more merchandise, and just generally seems like it's, I wouldn't say flourishing more, but it definitely gives off the appearance that they're doing quite well compared to where we just were.
Yeah, but that could be location, like Chris just said.
Right, so kind of leads you to think that that they would be the target of any kind of sabotage if they're doing really well and the other place is disadvantaged.
And does Daniel have such a hard time fishing because these guys are snapping up everything?
Could just be have a hard time fishing because the fish even know he's an asshole, but like I suppose that's also a possibility.
The fish don't even want to bite on his lure because they're like, nah, we hate you.
Yeah, he's just an asshole. No one wants to deal with him. Wolte, you're the more endearing of the two of us, I think. I'm still a little pissed off by my interactions earlier today, so...
This gentleman does seem rather amicable to conversation.
Yeah, I just don't know how to just approach them and be like, oh, hey, we're investigating who might have murdered somebody. Doop-a-doop-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Tap and dancing in front of them. Like, I don't know what to say, unfortunately, Garma. I don't know how to I don't know
I
what
guess-
to ask them.
We could just ask if. Well, that's a good question.
I mean, what am I going to say? How's business going? Looking at the giant cart of fish next to us.
Yeah.
That's-
I guess we could just see if anybody in there knows our boy Faniel. And I'll admit to it.
Marcus is like, we don't seem to have a whole lot of luck when we bring up Faniel's name to people.
No, that's true. We could see if there's any guild members inside that'll talk to us.
Is this a place we can just go in and shop, or is this like a warehouse kind of deal?
There
guess.
does appear to be a front area where you can go in and shop. Like, it's a little off to the side behind the Vitsock person, but like the doors are open.
Well then, let's play it off like that, Garma. We'll make it seem like we're buying something for dinner, and we'll be a little more perceptive than just upon the fish when we get inside.
Yes, I like this plan. And if we need a distraction, why doesn't everybody just come in? So in case we need to make a quick exit, we'll have somebody knock something over or something.
Oh, that
Everyone will recognize Marcos, and
That's true.
Resh is like, I mean, I might knock something over just accidentally anyway, so...
Yeah, Reg, I'm just gonna need you to talk a little bit. Just think thin for a few minutes.
Think skinny. You see her
But
like...
if you do see a fish go flying by, please feel free to just snatch that sucker right out of the sky. I am a little hungry.
Alright. Sounds good. Marcus scratches his head. I'll try to keep my celebrity to a minimum.
well, we may need it, so.
Until we need it.
I mean, either that, or Garma can pretend to be a health inspector.
Do I look like a health inspector, though?
Well, you don't necessarily look like a funeral director either, so.
I mean...
Oh, Lord.
Marcus is like, I think we could just go in and talk. I mean, but if we want to play the health inspector angle, I think we can try to do that too. I think either one will work, or at
So maybe
least
I
get
should
us
just
inside.
hang in. Maybe I should just hang in the back and not look like I know all of you in case we are gonna call an audible and I'm gonna be the health inspector. I can't walk in here with all of you and then just like all of a sudden claim to be a health inspector.
I was just trying to make light of the situation. We should just go in and look around.
Tay is like, I wonder how far they're gonna take this joke.
Apparently, very.
Very. So the inside, it's less of like a fish shop and more of like a series of ordering like stations. Like, you can see that they have a display that shows the types of fish that they sell. And obviously on the back wall there's this massive chalk written sign that has like the prices per bulk and things like that. But the shop area itself has a very kind of like rustic feel. Lots of wood displays and framing around the pictures, and inside there, behind the ordering counter, talking to a dwarf who is on the other side of the counter and obviously making an order, is what is probably Short Root. Imagine, if you will, Cacnea, the Pokemon. I think it's Cacnea.
Indeed. That's Cacnea. If you're
Right.
thinking a short, squat, wide-armed, little-legged, round-bodied cacti leshy with possibly a desert flower growing out of the top of his head, yeah, that's Cacnea.
Yes. So think like a tall Cacnea, but by tall I only mean to be about like 3.5, 4 feet tall. So
So it's evolution, Cacturn. Yes.
kind of, but still with more flowers down its back than a weird hat made of leaf.
Right.
Still a cactus, but you can see that they have they're doing something unusual for leshies. They are wearing clothes. What looks to be a very specifically protective jacket that does not let their cactus spikes out.
I don't want to bump into a coworker, I suppose. Yeah.
Right.
Or pop balloons on a sales day. I don't know. It's probably a good choice for him, though.
Right. Maybe they're just being considerate. Reg is like looking at some of the fish displays because they do have like some small displays just to show what the fish looks like, but they don't have like, you know, big rhinestone like displays of like tons of fish out. It's literally just like, this is what this fish looks like and this is what it goes for.
Right.
The dwarf steps away after nodding to the leshy and then starts to walk outside. Gives you all a passing glance, but doesn't seem interested until he notices the badge on Tay's chest. That gives him a moment to pause, but, I mean, he's not up to anything. He's just buying fish. So, he figures... He has a look on his face like, probably not my business, and bounces.
Right. Well, let's take a minute or so and just kind of look at the displays. I'm going to make a perception check on the leshy, though, and keep an eye on him and see his or her behavior while I'm doing that. Kind of see if they're...
It's hard to tell with leshies.
Yeah, well, still worth a shot.
Absolutely. Okay, that's a pretty good roll. So, this leshy appears to present feminine. Has like pink flowers down the back of her head and that like hang in like kind of like a flower veil type thing down her back. Her protective jacket though also has the embroidered logo of Root Pescatarium on it. She seems pleasant enough. There is a smile on her planty face. She doesn't seem overly disturbed by you guys being in the shop. She's just putting away the money that she just got from the sale of the fish that she just made. Is there anything in particular you're trying to feel out about her?
No, just general... just a general look.
Gotcha. Generally gauging the character's attitude and stuff like that. I gotcha.
Let's, I'm gonna approach said little leshy. What time did you say it was? 6?
Yeah, probably now it's... I'd say closer to like 6:15-ish. 6:20 if you guys think you got caught up in a little bit of like reveler traffic in the city.
Do I know Sorry. Go ahead, Garm.
I'm assuming walking anywhere with Marcus, we had a delay
Probably.
of some
Yeah.
amount.
I add an extra 5 minutes for celebrity.
Yeah, for celebrity.
I don't know if I would know anything about leshies. Like, I've traveled. They're magical, but they're more nature than...
You can hit me with a recall knowledge if you want to.
Well, how does one do that? What would that be under?
Okay, so if I remember correctly, well, let me just see. What do we got? What do we got? I'm looking at your sheet now. There's nothing in nature performance. You do have a +6 in society.
Yeah.
They are a civilized race. You hit me with a society roll. Oh yeah, easy. So like, what are you trying to recall about leshies?
Well, for starters, because I know the old man has a tendency to be flirty, am I going to get away with approaching her and saying, "Good evening, desert flower"? Or is that going to get me thorned? I'm trying to be charming.
Right, I get you. I like it. It's a good approach.
I mean, I also have a +5 in diplomacy if I need to go that route.
Right, yeah. And let's see. And I mean, you've got a 14 charisma. You are. Let's do it. Go for it, man. I say hit it.
I will approach. Oh no, I'm definitely not doing that. That would be dangerous. I'll approach the Leshy. Good evening, desert flower. Your shop and your logo is quite endearing. It's a quaint little place you have here.
She looks up at you and she is bright-eyed, and you can see that her eyes are pink, just like her the flowers of her hair. Oh yeah, 13, easy. Now, if it had been a 12, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. How long have y'all been in business?
Oh, let's see. We started in... Low-Kier of last year, so roughly 8 months ago?
Does that flare up any timeline for what we know based on...
It's about 2 months prior to when things went down at the Fingal Dingle estate.
Okay, that's what I was trying to... Some timeline here.
She holds out an immaculately manicured hand, devoid of spikes.
Oh,
Short root.
Of course. Charming with a low bow. Uteyuven of the Midnight Snack, purveyor of magical items and antiquities. Magi, at your service, madam.
She covers her mouth with the back of her hand. She looks very impressed. She's like, "Oh, really? Well, what brings you to my shop? Certainly you know I don't really sell magical fish."
My companions and I simply find ourselves exploring the city on this evening. We celebrated quite a bit yesterday. Today's more of a tourism check, if you would. I haven't been to this city. Marcus, dear Marcus, Lightbringer, is it?
Yeah, Lightbringer is certainly an adequate title for him.
Has been leading us around, and as I said, I found the logo to your shop. As a magical salesman myself, I found the shop logo simply endearing. Quite an eye catch for a sales representative.
Well, thank you. I can't. I'm not a very good painter, but I know people who can paint quite well, in fact. And while it is somewhat difficult to stitch, I have learned some embroidery. So I actually stitched all of the logos on the uniforms by hand.
That's fantastic. I'm sure it took you quite a long time.
It did.
I've
It
seen
took a long
many workers.
very long time, yes. This somewhat prevents me from hiring rather willy-nilly because I keep thinking to myself, this is another embroidery job I'm going to have to do. But it's worth it.
Well, I just find that, again, just endearing. And I'll continue to look at the fish. We were thinking about having a dinner together, my newly made friends, and we'll just take a few more minutes around your shop. And if I have any questions, can I come bother you?
Oh, of course, of course. She looks over at Lightbringer Marcos, and she's like, she waves a little bit and then looks back at you, and she's like, and if you have, if this is going to be like an event type thing, I can make sure that you guys get a bulk discount if you need that many. I don't know what kind of celebration you might be throwing, but we can provide for anything up to, I'd say probably a banquet of 200 plus people.
Oh, goodness. I thought you also did maybe smaller, like we were simply thinking a meal amongst friends.
Oh, certainly.
Something a little more
certainly.
private compared to the celebration of last night.
Absolutely, and we also have catering, so if you don't feel like cooking the fish yourself, I have fillet masters and chefs that I have business relationships with here in Pilgrim's Path that would be more than happy to include in the purchase of the fish for your project a discount for their services as well.
That's delightful. Well, we are staying at the Lamb. We'll continue to peruse, and if we come to a decision, I will speak with you again.
She starts nodding as soon as you mention the Lamb, and after you finish speaking, she says, I am well acquainted with the Lamb. Finn is a very shrewd businesswoman, and Hawk is a very good chef. I would never hope to step on his feet, so if you are going to host your little party with your friends there, then I will contact him and see about any kind of like special rates he wants. So, but don't worry about that. Don't you worry about that. That's me. That's my job. I'll worry about that for you, cutie.
Excellent. Well, thank you, madam. We'll just take a few more minutes then.
Take your time. My shop is open to you as long as you need.
So I'm gonna pull the group aside, over near some fish that look nice.
The fish that you've actually pulled them over towards has the name, it is a prismatic snapper, and it's true to its name. As you lean around it, its scales change color. To every color.
I hope that doesn't distract Reza. Anyway.
She's already, staring right at it.
I'm gonna whisper this. Garma, I hate to be a twat, but I don't think this woman and her company has anything to do with it. First impressions, I mean, she's rather pretty, but well, maybe that has nothing to do with it. That's besides the point. I just don't. I'm not getting a I murdered people vibe from her.
Well, I mean, I don't think she would have murdered anyone.
With those spines, it's definitely possible. Ooh.
Yeah.
I do see your point.
Marcus leans over. Book of Illumination, chapter 12, verse 7. The brightest lights cast the darkest shadows.
So, Marcus, you're getting a vibe from her that she might be overdoing it some?
No, I'm not getting a vibe, but people who don't think they've done anything wrong aren't going to act like they've done anything wrong.
That's a good point.
Not that I think that you're far off the mark, my guy, but I do want us to just, before we write anything off, I'd like us to keep our eyes on the prize. We are trying to find out if something happened, not find out who did something.
So, just for funsies, what if you told her that you were interested in having her bring the fish to us, but we were going to have an event for the guild?
Or what
Then
about
see
if
she
you bring
has a
up
reaction.
What if you bring up the Fingal Dingle estate? What if we're gonna have it there?
There's an idea.
Well, I just assume how many people know he hasn't been out in quite a while. That would come as a surprise and a shock.
Well, we could say that we were gonna do something to commemorate his wife. I think everybody knows of the wife's passing. Maybe we could just say Marcus just came into town to do like a delayed funeral service at the house.
Well, I already told her we might be thinking of something smaller. Oh, perhaps you can cover for me and say it was out of embarrassment or shyness. I don't deal well with death.
Fair.
Marcus is
Fair,
nodding. That sounds really good. Yeah.
Marcus, I think you're gonna need to come with me to just kind of smooth things over to make this look more legitimate. I'm not good with talking to strangers.
I will put on my best shyly looking at fish performance if I have to do a performance role. I will just fake it. Or diplomacy, for that matter.
Look,
honestly, this fish that's changing colors is probably just fun to watch. I wonder if it'll change when we walk away.
Every angle I'm getting is a different color.
See if you can get Regia to, like, lick it.
I am not going to have her lick a fish.
I'll totally lick a fish.
Reza,
I know.
you're not licking any of the fish. We're not getting thrown out.
But they look delicious.
I would wager that that little one is pointier than you are armored.
Regia, if
It's
you
the
get a
little
fish, I
points
can,
that slip between the cracks.
She's like gripping her maul handle like so tightly with the head of it just resting on the ground. She's like, I really want to eat the fish.
Well, if you get a fish, we could have Dog cook it later. I've never actually used it for its designated purpose.
Dog? Oh, the pot! Right!
Yes.
I forgot that you have a dog that's not a dog.
Yes,
Correct.
the blackish cauldron.
What breed is it? Iron.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Alright, I'll try not to eat the fish.
Don't eat fish.
I won't eat the fish.
I will let slip cat into your armor whilst you sleep if you eat one of these fish, Reza.
Oh.
I like you. Don't make me do that.
Oh god, okay, I won't eat the fish.
That
It will
sounds
feel like the most
horrible.
awkward tickle you've ever had.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that time I made out with a slime.
Uskin are very different people.
Yeah, but like, kinda. Like, I'm talking like, you know, loosely related. Not exactly the same. Ugh. She kind of shakes and rolls her shoulders out a little bit, but she has a look on her face like she's not sure if she liked it or not. She's thinking back.
It's any consolation. I feel the same way about the Leshy.
Mm,
Garma,
it's a very
what you can do to
herby
repair this?
experience. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt. What'd you say there, bud?
I was telling Garma to see what she can do to salvage this.
Okay.
I'll pretend to be embarrassed.
Okay, Marcus, come on with me just in case I mess this up.
All right, I got you. I'm 100% behind you.
I don't know if I needed a roll, but I put a roll in there.
I'm going to actually ask you to give me a roll for performance.
All right.
Or, well, I guess it wouldn't matter if I asked you for performance or deception since they're both a +2. So whichever one you feel is going to be more ideal.
The one more ideal for me would be performance. I grew up with a bunch of pouty female tieflings that, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, sure. Then give me a performance check, and I'm gonna... Oh, Jesus, you are the most embarrassed person ever!
Yeah, I'm just like scratching my mullet in the back, got my head down, kicking my feet a little bit.
That's
looking at the fish.
fantastic. That's great. Woo! Alright, so, Garma, with a supporting act that good, any roll you make is going to, at this point, have a +4 modifier to convince Shortroot of whatever story you're about to tell her. Now, that is not a
In addition
guaranteed...
to your own modifiers.
Right. That is not a guaranteed success, but you are far more likely to succeed now. And I will let you rely on your funerary lore skill when talking with her about this. If you want to play this off like you are here to aid in a funerary, like, I guess not so much banquet as a commemorative feast type thing.
So how do I roll for that? Like, I can see it on my screen, but I don't
Just
know
click
how
on the +5.
Oh, that's pretty easy. All right.
Yeah, it's very easy. Very, very convenient.
Oh,
Okay.
good thing I got the bonus.
Hey, that's a that's a 13, baby. Let's go. Yeah, 13 is pretty average for anyone with authority speaking on, like, as normal with their authority. So I'm going to say that right now you are absolutely, like, able to pull this off. So the Leshy is writing into her ledger as you walk up to her. She looks up, sees you, a little bit taller than her, and then looks up and sees Marcus, and she smiles real wide to both of you. Hello, welcome to my pescatarium. Lightguard Marcus, I believe this is the first time I've ever seen you in my shop. Marcus bows his head a little bit and puts a hand on his chest. He's like, it is in fact, and as much as I wish that I could say we were here for pleasure, the truth of the matter is, he looks at you, Garma.
We're here on somber business. You spoke to my dear friend earlier.
She
He's
nods.
behind me.
Yes, very charming Why does he look so sad?
Well, I mean, we...
If I heard that, I'm sitting there thinking, because one cannot segue from flirting to, I'm doing funeral stuff.
She is just, she's lifted her hand and placed it over her chest, looking at you is breaking her heart right now. Like, she's like, what's happened? And she looks back at you, Garma.
I'm sure you're aware of the tragedy that inflicted the Fingal Dingle family. We're here. Lightguard Marcus didn't have the availability to perform the services at the time of her passing, but we're here now to try to plan an appropriate service for her, belated as it is. And we were hoping that you would be willing to provide your services for those in attendance.
Give me just a second. I'm doing a series of rolls about things, so just give me a moment.
I appreciate the vagueness.
I'm sorry, I didn't see your message from earlier, Lori. But you can absolutely roll. You do not have to ask in secret for that.
Okay. I could do that after.
Yes. Inhumane, I'm directing you to your messages. She says, "Oh yes, I'm very familiar with the tragedy that occurred at the Fingal Dingle house. Such a lively young woman. For an elf to die so early is..." She looks down and sighs. A real tragedy. And I hear that Horbert hasn't been doing well either. I don't think I've seen him in the shop at all. In months?
The grief has taken a strong hold, it seems.
I'm gonna make a perception check on her reaction to that statement.
Okay.
Specifically. Oh, that's shit. Oh, well.
Well, I mean, it's the perception. I mean, 7's not terrible. Like, you can, like, she's not hiding any level of unhappiness.
Right.
If there is more to it right now, you can't tell.
Yeah.
But you did notice the thing that I messaged you earlier.
Right.
Her grief does, as far as you can tell, seem to be legitimate. Marcus nods and, steps a little bit closer to Garma. It's like, we're going to be hosting a meal at Horbert's home to commemorate his wife and try to lift his spirits a little bit. We're going to have a few members of the Fisherman's Guild come by, but keep it hush-hush for now. We're not really trying to, like, make it a big thing, because, like, sensitive subject. She looks up and she just starts nodding, and she looks back and forth between Garma and Marcus. It's like, of course, certainly, anything you need. I can, you tell me how much fish you need for this, and I'll cover the costs of, like, the preparations and things like that, and I've got this. Whatever you guys might need for this situation. It's a real local tragedy. Anything I can do to ease the impact.
Real quick, if I have time while she's talking, I'm going to cast a message.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to let Garma know, or rather have Garma ask how well she knew the Fingal Dingles. And she knows about the tragedy and
yes.
all that. So just real quick, I'm going to message Garma and ask her to ask him how well she knew their family.
I appreciate your eagerness to help us have a nice event for the family. How well did you know them?
Oh goodness. After I set up business for the first, actually up until his wife died, he was in here just about every week, seeing how I was doing and wishing me well, and that was kind of Horbert's strength, is that he was so deeply ingrained in the fishing culture of the city. Literally anyone who's related to it, from the chefs in town to the fishermen that are out on the sea or on the rivers, they all know who Horbert is. I'd say the guy didn't have an enemy anywhere, but I mean, none that I can think of.
So you said but there. Do you have suspicions about what's happening?
Well, I know that... I don't know how long Marcus, I know how long you've been around, but I don't think I actually caught your name.
My name is Garma Palethorpe.
Garma Palethorpe. She holds out her well-manicured hand, but this time palm down, as though she expects you to take it as a lady. Short route.
I'm just gonna look confused and just kind of like...
Marcus leans in, takes it, and bows his head a little bit, and she seems completely satisfied with that.
Thank you. I'm not really good at this class shit. Like...
Right, yeah, you're a funeral
right.
worker. You don't do this shit. Oh. So, she's like, no, I lost where I was. What was she answering? How often he was there?
If she had any
Oh,
suspicions.
right, yes. Thank you. I need that. Okay, so she looks down for a moment and sort of like fidgets a bit. And then she looks back up at you. She's like, I don't like to talk ill of people, but there is one person that I am fairly sure I saw get into an altercation with Horbert once. His name is Faniel. Now, like I said, I don't like to talk ill of people, but he does have a somewhat rotten countenance about him, and he might be the only person that I have ever seen get into a shouting match with Horbert Fingeldingle. That was also, I think, the only time I ever saw Horbert angry.
And what do you think of, have you ever had any interaction with Faniel?
Occasionally, he comes by and tries to sell fish. I don't sell anything that he brings because the things that he bring I would get in trouble for selling. But he's obviously on hard times, so I just give him some money so that he'll leave and not die.
So you pity him more than anything.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. How rotten must things be for you for that to be how you are? Like, I just can't fathom being that way daily. I guess it's just not, it's not grown into me. I can understand people adapting to their situation to be however they need to be in order to survive, but although I guess she looks down at her own protective coat, kind of implying to the thorns beneath it, I guess some of us are just kind of born spiky.
Thank you. I don't want to take any more of your time, unless Marcus has anything in particular he wants for the event, because he'll be leading it. I'll let him. I'm just gonna let him. Give him the moment here to ask if he has any other questions for you.
I mean, I don't really think there's a whole lot else to talk about. Do you remember anything happening strange maybe about, like, 6 months ago? She reaches up to kind of, like, touch her face in thought. She looks up and to the left. She's, like, running her fingers across her lips, like she's thinking very hard. Not, like, specifically. I mean, I can look through, like, I don't know, this is kind of a stretch, but I could, like, look through my ledger to see if there were any strange orders or something.
If it wouldn't take up too much of your time, that might be a good idea.
I mean, it shouldn't take too terribly long. I have them all filed chronologically in my office. I could just find the book that has that time period in it to roughly 6 months ago.
Sure, if you wouldn't mind.
I was gonna say I'm gonna hit Garma with another message. Couldn't hurt.
Yeah, it can't hurt.
Sure, if this will help in some way, I could see if there was anything strange. Sure.
I'm gonna nudge Marcus to kind of give her some encouragement.
Yeah, that would be very helpful, 'cause, like, we're just trying to, like, find happy memories to try and, like, counterbalance the tragedy that occurred. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I can check and see if there was anything particularly prosperous about that time period. Or something, maybe. I'll be maybe 5 or 6 minutes. It won't take me long to find the time frame. So she turns and she heads through a door underneath the giant blackboard with the fish prices on it, leaving you all alone in the front shop.
So, what do you guys think? She's probably the first person we've met that doesn't outwardly hate him. And by him, I mean Faniel.
I'm gonna hit Garma with another message. Just in case she's listening.
Gotcha.
Can we see through that office door? Is there a window on that office door?
Yeah. There's a 4-paned, a cross frame window that looks into it.
Can one of us take a peek without being like too conspicuous about it?
Yeah, it's not like it's hard to look through. It looks like a fairly normal office, though with smaller-ish furniture. You can see that the chair that she's sitting in is one that is sized for her. And at the small desk that she is sitting at, you see a very large book, and she seems to be poring through it, just like very studiously looking.
Gotcha. Well, we're good. I just wanted to make sure she didn't drop through a trap door in the back room or something.
Right, like try to bounce.
Just scuttle on back to the desert or wherever the hell she came from. So, just in case. I mean, I don't think she would, but the old man and I have definitely been in situations where people have done a boot scoot out the back door.
It never hurts to confirm.
Right. Well, while she's looking through that, let's continue this conversation at a whisper, perhaps a little further across the room as well. Maybe back by the rainbow fish again. That sounds like a good idea there.
Maybe Regia can just like stand on the stand in the circle that is closest to her. If she can't read our lips.
Right. Stand in front of the door. Well, I stand by what I said. She still seems very friendly. Reasonably honest. If she's lying, I certainly can't tell.
She has been incredibly friendly, but she's the first one that hasn't just heard his name and shuddered with disgust. So either she's the most empathetic human being on the planet, or...
For being a plant person.
Right, well, we also got, I don't know if y'all noticed, but we got a little tremble when we mentioned Fingal Dingle.
What did you see? I don't know that I saw it.
Well, she shifted ever so slightly. She didn't, I don't know. There's just something about a shift in one's stance. And again, you're right. She just seems to be the only person that doesn't want to dump Daniel in the river.
So are you saying the shift might be because she's involved or knows more than she says she knows?
Like I said, if she does, I certainly couldn't perceive that. She's either a very good liar or very honest.
Do you think she's actually going to show us any weird orders from 6 months ago, or do you think she's back there trying to figure a way out of this?
I think she's certainly looking. She's poring over the book.
What do you think, Marcus? You were probably observing more than me.
I don't know that I saw anything more than you did. I know that she does appear to be very helpful, and also, I kind of resent you saying that she is the first person that you've met that doesn't want to throw Faniel into a river. I don't want to throw him into a river.
Well, you're an exception, Marcus. You're very nice. I'm very nice also, but a man like that, he might just deserve a little shove or a trip.
Look, I think he should spend a little more time in church and a little less time being a Marmock's at rear end. But like, you know, like she said, I don't know what his situation is.
That's fair.
As you all are talking, the very tall Vitsak man from outside ducks under the doorway, which is something that Regia only slightly had to do. So this guy has like a full head height on Regia. But he doesn't look quite as broad. He is very tall and actually somewhat thin for a Vitsak. Doesn't look like he spent a whole lot of time actually like sailing or being a ruffian. He looks a little more refined. He steps in, looks around, and then sees all of you, clears his throat. I apologize for interrupting you. Has Miss Root gone into her office?
Oh, yes. Yeah, she's doing us a blanking. She's just doing us a favor and looking through one of her ledgers for her.
He closes his eyes and nods understandingly. He's like, "Oh, thank you. When she comes back out, if you wouldn't mind, I just need her signature on something. If once you're all finished with your business, if you could simply ask her to step outside so that I could get her final say on this negotiation I've been working on." He takes 2 steps over, crossing the distance easily with his very long gait, and extends a hand to you, Uteuven. My name is Octavius.
Octavius, Uteuven of the Midnight Snack, purveyor of magical items and antiquities. Magi at your service.
Did you? I'm assuming, of course, that you took his hand.
Yeah.
He shakes it gratefully. He's like, man of culture, delightful. I appreciate you doing that for me. I will head back outside and ask the merchant to wait.
Very well, my good man. I will let her know that she is needed by the gallant Octavius.
He steps back outside with a very big smile on his face. He's very happy. He does not deal with very many cultured individuals. That is what you are immediately picking up off of this.
Right.
This guy deals with fishermen 9 days out of the week. Yeah. And
grumpy ass merchants.
Right. So you are a breath of fresh air across this giant's face. So
now, is this thing he handed me sealed?
Yes, it is.
Shit.
It is a sealed packet.
All right.
Basically, literally an envelope.
I'm gonna be a twat because I'm curious. I'm just gonna see if I can like hold it to a light and try to read anything through it.
Sure,
Just
there are
anything at all.
bright stones all around.
Let me also do this clearly away from the window. I don't want dear.
Oh, so you just stand in direct center of Regia. You'll be fine.
Right. Come here, Broadwin. I pull her along with me.
Yeah, sure.
Do I need to make a check for this?
Pull more
Perception,
like
perhaps?
you tug in order for her to
Right.
get the idea to follow.
Like, come on, come on.
Let's see. I'm looking through your.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Awful one.
So I'm
Sevens
going.
today. Sevens.
I'm going to let you take. I'm going to actually let you take arcane sales tactics on this. Give me a reroll because, you know, you're used to looking for the unseen when it comes to magic items and sales. And that doesn't
Right.
necessarily poorly translate into what you are doing here. So,
I've definitely seen plenty of receipts and deals, though.
right. So if you catch sight of anything through here, you're kind of going to know what you're looking for. So go ahead and give me that reroll. Much better.
Ever so slightly, but yeah, I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not particularly thick paper. And the writ does not even seem to be folded in half. So with the light positioning just right, you can see a number. You can see what you think says Croaker on it. And, you know, that's just a fish. You're fairly sure that what you are holding is exactly what Octavius said it is.
Very good, very good, very good.
But I applaud your suspicion.
I was gonna say, can we steam it open somehow?
I'm like, I've played too many TTRPGs and not be like, can I read this?
Right,
I want
right.
to read this.
Right. And not to you know, play up Regia a little bit, but like, you know, you get that armor off of her and you hold it over her abs. That'll probably steam it open, you know.
Strength +4.
I've got advantage to sexy checks. No, so
We don't need deception rolls here.
that's right. This is a seduction party. So a minute or two enough of that. A minute or two later,
Actually, I'm sorry, I'm not done. I do
God.
have one more. If
Okay,
I have
hit
to
me,
make
hit
a seduction check, can't I use arcane sales tactics? Because the shit is magical.
oh, I like that. I might let you pull that off once. We'll have to get into the right situation for it, but I might let you do that. You convinced me.
All right, let's not get murdered by thorns here in the next couple of minutes while she's searching through that ledger.
So a minute or two later, she comes back out with a book in hand and places it on the counter, and she waves over to you all. She's like, I might have found a nice piece of positive news. And it actually, interestingly enough, she flips the book open and pulls the leather bookmark out that she had placed in it so that she could carry the book out without losing the place. If you want to come and take a look at this.
Absolutely. Well, let us take a gander.
So, she turns the book around to face it, and this book is, the writing is dense. Like, the book is huge in the first place, but she has taken 2 columns of what are supposed to be ledgers, drawn them into eighths on each page, and writes microscopically.
Ah.
So she
Probably with the quills.
Yeah, she points to one block of scrawl, and she says, "This actually reminded me of something that happened. It was just about 6 months ago. I had met with a couple of the other members of the fishing community. There was a meeting at the guild, and they were talking about doing something nice for Horbert. So I remember this now because we're bringing it up. I sent a care package, a little thank you thing, to him. It was just a basket with some rare fish. Nothing like, you know, incredibly rare or anything like that. Just pyre poach. They're fish that it's an interesting fish. I don't know if you know anything about fish, but pyre poach, if you crack their skulls, they'll cook themselves because they eat pyrestone, like pyrestone pebbles around aquatic pyrestone formations.
If I'm not mistaken, they spearfish for those, so they can put them directly on the...
100% yes. And you always have to aim away from the head, otherwise it'll cook itself right on your spear. So, I sent, like, I think 2 of those for him and... No, 3. It was 3 for him, his wife, and his son, Nimblehorn. It's a shame he never took after his father. I'm sure he would make an excellent angler. He has the physique for it. But yeah, I sent a care package, and actually it would be nice if I sent another one now, wouldn't it?
I'm sorry, you say he has the physique for it, but my understanding is he is a wandering swordsman. And is, in many ways, much like casting a line.
Indeed. With his constitution would allow for him to pull in much more dangerous fish than his father usually fishes for. His father is a river fisherman. But Nimblehorn could easily earn a living on a fishing vessel on either the inland or out external seas.
Has he never fished? Have you never seen him fishing? I know you haven't been here all that long.
No, I've never seen him. In fact, I don't even know if he likes fish.
I'm gonna glance at Garma because I can't help that. That's interesting.
And if that's the case, then maybe, do you want me to recommend a butcher that you could go to get a good cut of meat for him at this this, I guess not party, but this celebration? Because if he doesn't eat fish, then it would be somewhat of a faux pas for me to offer nothing but fish without thinking of him.
You know, strangely, madam, I think fish would still be perfect for this occasion.
Oh, you think so? I mean, I'm only assuming that he does not like fish. But sure, if that is what you think, then I will leave it all up to you. You, after all, are the ones throwing the event.
I think we will make sure everyone has a fish, regardless. And if you'd like to contact a butcher as a backup, that will be fine.
The gift basket that you sent, did you deliver it yourself, or did you have someone else deliver it?
Oh no, I couldn't deliver it myself that day. Actually, if you look the block right under it, it says that I paid a foot courier to deliver the package. I could not deliver it myself because I actually had business out of town that day, on the day that I was going to ship it. So I left it here with instructions for Octavius to pay a delivery boy to take it over. Octavius will probably remember. The man has a mind like a fish trap.
Speaking of Octavius, Tay, didn't you have something that we were supposed to? It seems that we could probably make our way.
Right, yes. Sorry, here, I get easily excited.
She takes the envelope. She's like, "Oh, this must be the merchant's." One moment. She picks up. She pulls the quill pen out of her protective jacket pocket, uses it to deftly cut open the envelope, takes it out, and just peruses over it really quick. If anyone wants to throw a perception check at it, just to double check and make sure, feel free. She is not paying attention to you. She is 100% in on this. Oh, that's a glorious roll, Tay. It is 100% legitimate from everything that you can see. That is a sales receipt.
Excellent.
And you are the person that would know what a sales receipt looks like.
Right.
She quickly signs it. Short route with 3 curvy underlines, reaches under the counter, takes out another envelope, places it in there, seals it up. And she says, and hands it back to you, Tay. If on your way out, you wouldn't mind handing that to Octavius, I would be very grateful. I've got to put the book back and reorganize some things, but if you could do that for me, I would be so grateful.
Oh, but a pleasure, dear desert flower.
She's just glowing.
glowing. I just roll my eyes, so much so that I think I don't even care if I'm noticed, just like, God, and I just turn around and walk out.
She's not taking any notice of your unhappiness.
I know.
She's just, I'm getting compliments. So Marcus bows his head to her, and she gives you all a little wave, and Marcus makes his way over, taps Regia on the shoulder. Come on, Regia. And she's like, huh, right. Wait, did we get a fish? She's following you all out.
Is Tay with us, or is he still in there making?
Oh no, I came along.
Okay. Well, let's. I'll give you the opportunity to talk to your new friend Octavius too.
Octavius is still is currently talking to a very disgruntled dwarf, who is like, I've been here for 25 minutes! How long does it take to get a freaking signature so I can get back on my boat?
Oh, that would be my problem, dear sir. Octavius, my darling man. Consider it signed, sealed, and delivered. Sorry for the delay. We held up your boss.
Glorious. He reaches out, takes the envelope from you with a very grateful nod, and offers it to the dwarf. There you are, Master Kusk. Happy
My
fishing.
apologies, Master Koos. That would be my fault. I was keeping Miss Root occupied for an event.
He's looking back and forth between the two of you, all salty. He's like, feckin' tall folk. No sense of time. Turns around, he's like, well, thank you anyway.
Have a better evening.
Octavius chuckles to himself and then leans a bit over to you and says, he's actually a very nice man. He's just very impatient.
Yes, again, sorry for the delay, Octavius. We actually have a question for you. About 6 months ago, a care package was delivered to the Fingal Dingles via foot carrier. But,
Indeed. Yes, I recall it. What about it?
Do you remember anything about the carrier?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I remember the carrier perfectly. Small lad, blonde hair. Probably a human, though looked to maybe have had some other, near human, ancestry as well. Just something angular about the features. Possibly half-elf, like yourself.
Did you happen to get a name?
Name, yes. Gil. Very easy to remember in a business like ours.
I suppose it would be.
Yes, I paid him the 5 silver for the delivery that Miss Shortroot set aside, and I gave him an extra 5 to expedite the trip and not take any other stops on the way.
Strange question. Have you seen Gil since?
No.
Have you?
No, I have not actually, now that you mention it. I hope the lad is doing well. He looked to be in fine health, but I have not seen him since, no.
Maybe his currying's taken to another side of the city.
Very possibly. We do not often employ foot couriers from this part of the city.
Well, thank you for your time.
No, thank you.
It's been a
sir.
pleasure speaking with you.
Oh, I agree. I have enjoyed this far more than you could possibly understand. Do have a good day.
You indeed, as well.
Octavius clears his throat, looks over, and sees another cart coming. This time with a Vorkasha, one of the dragon people, coming, and he says, "Oh, my day can't get any better." You can see the pleasure on his face because he's excited about this customer. But this is fish business and probably has nothing to do with y'all.
Right. The group was with me, right? They heard that. They heard all that, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Does anyone want to comment on the fact that the courier hasn't been seen since? Maybe it is unusual, maybe it's not, but...
I think... my suspicion is shifted away from her, only because, well, it's interesting that she knew that the son didn't eat the fish, because, it seems as though she would know that the other two would fall ill. But he didn't, so she's assuming he doesn't like fish. I thought maybe Gil tampered with it, but why would she make assumptions that he didn't eat it if she wasn't expecting him to fall ill with the other two?
High constitution, perhaps.
Marcus looks between the two. He's like, that seems like a risky wager if she's, planning something bad. But there's an easy way for us to figure out whether or not him liking fish is common knowledge. We can literally just ask anyone at the guild.
Right.
Because if they're like, how should I know? Then we'll know that she knows something that's a little bit suspicious. If they're like, oh no, he hates fish, then we'll know that she doesn't.
Maybe we can ask them too if there's a way to tamper with these fish.
Not only that, she's never seen him fishing. Someone else will have to be able to attest to that.
Marcus nods. It's like, do you want to split up? Do we want to send some of us back to the guild to ask around, and some of us, do we want to try and head back to the other warehouse?
How much time? What time is it now?
I'd say it's probably close to 7. It's probably 7 o'clock.
So we have an hour before nightfall.
Text me when you get home.
Yeah, so probably an hour before the Nog's place closes up.
And when does it get dark? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's already dark.
Okay.
It's been dark for probably probably just about 2 hours now. Remember, you guys are coming off of a celebration that starts on the longest night of the year.
Yeah.
So it is still almost the longest night of the year.
Yeah, not much has changed in 2 days. Oh, fuck. Garma, what should we do? I'm not one to split the party, ever. It seems every time the old man and I split up for some apprenticeship training, something went wrong, usually on his end.
Well, I'm not for it either. I just think I may have better luck getting the information we need out of the guilds. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you guys shouldn't come along to support. I just think that I'll have...
Oh, they love me. The last time I was there, I wrestled a Neil.
Yeah, Regia reaches over and grabs Tay around the shoulders and pulls him up against her. He's like, are you kidding? This guy's like a celebrity there now.
Yeah, I mean, we have an hour to kill before the place closes. I don't know that I want to break in right after closing time anyway, in case someone is lingering.
I mean, if I have to up the ante, I could try wrestling the slime.
Nah.
Why don't you just wrestle Regia?
In tiny form? God, no. Giant form? Gods, no.
She grins down at you challengingly. She's like, might be fun.
Or maybe we could just see how many fish she could eat in a certain period of time, since seems to be hungry.
Well, I've been spending gold willy-nilly during this celebration and giving this of Zelikos, but so I only have 8 gold left. There's that. At this point,
Reg
it's a
is
good
like,
thing our meals are calm.
do you need money?
I think I've needed money my whole life.
Well, at least we're eating free now, so that's good, right? Like you said.
I just think I haven't even begun to drink. It is after dark. We could always go to the guild and then go have a drink afterward.
True.
This sounds like a good plan. Good plan indeed.
I know we don't want to split the party, but what if we just stop by and see if we can schedule a time to talk to Nog? Because the guy's obviously busy. If he says no, then that doesn't change our plan. If it says yes, then it might take some of the risk out of it.
We can also use the same cover story and have 2 people catering the event. They don't know how many guests there are. We didn't discuss any of that to my knowledge.
Also true.
It's worked once. I don't know why it wouldn't work a second time.
That works too.
But yes, well, if shipping doesn't stop receiving until 8, we still have time to run by there. Let's do that.
Okay. What would be 7:15 without Marcus in tow becomes 7:20 with.
Yeah.
A small price to pay.
Things seem to have already died down, however. There aren't really any more carts delivering fish to Nog's warehouse. A couple of his workers are standing outside. One of them is smoking a pyre stick.
I suppose since we're walking, I'll light up my pipe. I don't think anyone's gonna.
Nope. No one will say a thing. You're outside.
Maybe the funky smell coming from it, but that's fine.
Yeah. You do not see Gofriar Nog, but like I said, you do see this group of 3 obvious workers. They're wearing very thick, long coats. Just, dark, probably densely woven cotton. You can see that one of them, a tall Vidsock man, his coat is open, and the interior is lined with something that is very plush and thick. Probably wool. And upon inspection, yeah, the coats may be drab, but they look very high quality. Like, that's a Carhartt coat, man.
Right. Fucking ugly to look at, but
right,
it's a good coat.
Ooh, it'll
you warm
keep
and
you
dry,
warm.
my God. Yeah.
There is an Umber out there as well, standing next to him. He seems to be just sipping a hot mug of something, because you can see the steam, and it's coldish tonight because it is winter. But he's drinking something warm, and the third member of their party is a pard. Beard that's braided and then long and thrown over his shoulder. But the lights are still on the outside, so the place obviously hasn't closed yet. These guys are just waiting on work. Waiting on work that does not seem to be coming.
Right. Getting ready to close. Well, I whisper to Garma, let's approach them and see what we can do about getting perhaps a meeting when Nog is less busy. Or maybe even if he's available now, he might not have turned in for the evening.
It's a good plan.
Do you want to lead or should I?
Why don't you speak with the other two, and I'll see if my Umber friend over here wants to tell me anything that maybe he wouldn't tell you otherwise, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. All right, we will approach casually. Hail, gentlemen. I was perhaps inquiring if we could have a meeting with Sir Nog at some points in the coming days. He was rather busy when we came by this morning, and I didn't want to continue bothering him.
The men look between one another and like look back at you. They're like, "You want to talk to the boss?"
Oh, if he's available and not busy, that would be a delight.
I mean, I could go in and see if he's busy. He's not. He's kind of a guy that likes to stick to a schedule.
Well, my friend could probably better explain. It's more her area of expertise, but we were hoping we could inquire on perhaps having the Nog Company cater an event.
Oh, so it's a business query. Gotcha. Yeah, sure.
Yes, of course, my good man. He was very business earlier, and I didn't want to step on any toes.
Yeah, we were busy earlier. I got you. Yeah, I'll head inside. The Vitsock, gives you, the okay symbol, and he's like, just wait here. I'll either be right back or I'll bring my boss. As you guys are talking, the Umber steps away from the group, kind of with a smile and a nod, and steps aside, towards Garma.
I'm gonna look at Tay and just kind of give him that it's okay sign.
I'll give a little half nod.
So Lori, once you and the Umber have stepped aside, he kind of glances over at your group and then looks back at you and is like, "So what's up, sister?"
We're well, it's a long story. I'm here as part of the guard for the festival, and
his eyes glance down at your badges and then back up at you. Aye.
Got some conscripted into some other things, and we're looking into what's happening with the Fingal Dingle family.
Oh, that's a tragedy. Aye.
And I've got a couple questions for you if you think you could help me.
Mm-hmm. He steps closer and holds out his hand. He says, "My name's Sonny."
I'm so awkward, so I'm just gonna awkwardly take his hand and just kind of shake it. I'm Garma.
Garma, pleasure to meet you. You from north? You look northy.
I can't say I've ever had a home, but the north is, I guess you could say the north is my home base.
I understand. He nods, then steps back to give you just enough space so that it still feels like you guys are having your own conversation, but he doesn't feel like he's pressing into your space. It's like, aye, tell me, what can I help you with?
You ever see a foot courier around here named Gil? Ever deal with him?
I know Gil. I know who Gil is, aye.
Have you seen him recently?
Maybe 3 weeks ago? Might have been about 3 weeks ago. I was walking through the Parchment District, and he was running a delivery there, I believe. I didn't ask him about his business, 'cause it ain't my business to ask, but I did say hi to him.
Did he seem normal to you?
Aye, he looked in very good health.
Okay. And, do you know anything about Mr. Fingal Dingle's son not enjoying fish?
Oh, aye, he hates them. Hates fish. With a passion.
Just has he like what he just didn't take up after his father? And
If I'm completely honest with you, I think Horbert might have tried to push fishing on him a bit too much when he was younger, and he struck out on his own, sort of in rebellion. Now, it worked out because, I mean, look at the lad. He's got the continence to be a fighter.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's quite impressive. And then last question, which is going to sound really strange, and I didn't get the name of the fish because I was, to be honest with you, I was overwhelmed with the conversation that I had earlier today. But are you familiar with the fish that can cook itself when you crack its skull?
Oh, aye. Pyre poach.
Yes.
Oh, aye, yes. Fascinating fish.
Do you handle that? Do you work with that fish a lot?
Not frequently, no, because pyre poach is a bit rare down this way. There aren't really any, like, subaquatic volcanic formations in a river. So, but you can get them from the coast. The Sea of Winds has a few spots that you can order them from. Bit of a fancy fish. Not particularly, like, it's not the most delicious fish, but it is a neat party trick to just crack a fish's skull and it starts to cook itself.
Yeah, that's kind of what I gathered. It seemed like
It's a novelty thing, aye.
So, do you think, and again, if you don't know, that's okay, but really I'm just wondering if someone were to tamper with the fish so that it still cooks itself, but it poisonous somehow. Can you conceive of any way that someone could do that?
Well, I mean, I don't know nothing about poisons myself, but I mean, you can poison anything.
Sure.
He looks down at his mug, which you notice has hot chocolate in it. He's like, hell, you could even poison hot chocolate if you wanted.
Suppose that's true. I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you think, and again, do you think there's any way, because,
He leans a little closer, he's like, do you suspect foul play or something? Are you guys investigating something, like, dangerous?
I wouldn't say dangerous, we're just trying to cover all our bases before we start levying accusations. It's more curiosity, so to speak, because I'm sure you know the Fingledingles, the wife's passing was sudden, which is unusual for elves, and now Mr. Fingledingle was taken ill.
She was a
which
beauty,
also,
too. Gorgeous
right.
blue hair, gold eyes, just, she was a real charmer, too. Just as nice as Horbert.
Right, and so I guess the concern is we've learned that they received a delivery of these pyre poach fish around the time that they both took ill, and so we're just kind of seeing if this was a possibility that somebody could have essentially done something to them so that they would still behave the same way. It would, and obviously Horbert would know if something was wrong with something he ate, especially a fish. So we're just trying to figure out if... I'm sorry?
I said maybe. I don't... Like, obviously, like I said, I mean, you can poison anything. I don't know that Horbert, being as thin as he was, is going to be knowing much about pyre poach. There are big fish. Like, bigger than you. Need to be a strong... Mostly Vitsock sailors fish them up.
Is there anyone you think that inside now that we could talk to, or do you think maybe your friend that just went inside would be someone we could talk to about it?
If you're looking for like where they might have come from, then Mr. Nog's gonna know more than anything else because he's been in this business for decades.
And I know he's... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, sorry, I apologize. My thoughts keep coming up to me. He knows pretty much where to get any kind of fish from.
He seems to be a difficult man to reach. Do you think maybe you could get us a meeting with him somehow. Maybe give a good word.
As you're saying this, the Vitsock man comes back out and motions to you all. He's like, Mr. Nog is in his office. He's more than happy to speak to you. Now, I say that I know he doesn't seem like a happy guy. It's just because he's old and he's very busy. So don't take it personally.
Well, my friend, I guess it worked out better than we thought.
Sonny nods. He's like, aye, well, good luck. Do you want me to keep this on the hush-hush, or...?
If you could, I would appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely. Stay safe.
You as well, thank you.
Aye.
I'm gonna rejoin the group so we can go into the office together.
Are you all going in, or... He's looking at you, Tay, since you were the one that asked him. He's like, are you all coming inside, or...
If his office has room for my big friend here.
He looks... he looks up at Regia, because while Octavius may have been very tall, Regia is as big as, or bigger than, the average Vitsock. He's like, she's probably gonna have some trouble, because even I have some trouble getting through his door.
I'm gonna chuckle. Reza might want to stay outside, darling. Apparently it's not quite sized for fighters like yourself.
She shrugs. She's like, it's fine. If I go in there, I'm probably just gonna eat all the fish at this point anyway. I'm famished.
We'll get a meal afterward, I assure you.
She waves off. She's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm not gonna starve to death. And then you hear the grodiest stomach grumble you have ever heard. Just like... And she's just like, wide-eyed and standing there like...
I think your armor's going to cave in. I've seen a spell that does that.
Look, just if you come back out here and my hammer's missing, know that I'm not hungry anymore, alright?
Goodness. Well, you'll get your iron intake.
Yeah, there we go. So the Vitsock leads you inside.
Let's go see what old Nog has to say.
So the Vitsock heads inside. Inside here, it is dark. It is not as well lit as it probably should be, and very damp and cold. This is not a place for normal people. This is a warehouse for fish. The floor is wet, just everywhere. And the place absolutely reeks of fish. It doesn't reek of bad fish. It's just the smell is everywhere, and it's really strong. In the back right, or as you're walking in the back left corner on an elevated platform, you can see an office with a little, like, deck around it that the Vitsock is leading you to. All throughout the place, you can see what almost resemble sarcophagi, but you can see fish inside it through the clear viewports on the top, and all around you can see faintly glowing blue strips of rhinestone.
As I walk, I'm gonna thumb along my staff with my fingers like I'm typing something, and message Garma. I will prestige our clothes when we leave. We're gonna reek of fish after this.
Same as someone that just... My scent is just blown out right now. I could really use a beer.
Well, let's follow him through this near subaquatic hellscape and
Right.
So he leads you up to the office door and knocks on it gently. Mr. Nog, I'm here with the people that wanted to talk to you. You hear from inside. Yes, let them in. He opens the door, which you realize is about a head, like a half a head to a full head too short for him. And he opens the door and then steps aside. He's like, you may go inside.
As we walk in, I'm going to hit Garma with another message. Politely lie about the banquet.
The
It's a
penguin?
good lead.
The penguin?
The banquet.
Oh, banquet. I thought you said
Penguin would be nice, though, with all the
like,
rhymestone around here. Like,
penguin?
do you have a penguin?
Yeah, do you...
He has a penguin.
Is this a safe place to keep penguins? The office is warmer than the rest of the warehouse.
It needs to be. He's elderly.
Yeah, there's a raging fireplace off to the left. A table with some chairs in the corner to your right. Ahead of you in a corner that is basically just like bordered by bookshelves and then a desk.
I think I have to do some more.
And seated at the desk is Gofriar Nog, the pug Shuni that shooed you away from the front of his store earlier today. He looks up at all of you from his book, takes off his little pince-nez glasses, squints, puts them back on. Didn't I see you all earlier today?
I'm going to approach and extend my hand, shake it. Utayuvan of the Midnight Snack, purveyor of magic items and antiquities, magi at your service.
He reaches out and just kind of like shakes your hand kind of passively. Not very interested, but more like it's a formality. You get the sense immediately. He's shaken a lot of hands in his life.
Yes.
He's like, oh, okay, Midnight Snack. That's in home, yes. A long way. What are you doing down here?
A celebratory trip, a little bit of training. The list goes on.
He points
and
at
the magic items in the city do as well.
He points at your NSF badge as you're talking. Oh yes, okay, that makes sense. Now I get it. All right, that's the connection. So what do you guys need? I'm trying to close up shop here soon, so if we can finish this fast, that'd be great. There's a cask of ale at home that's got my name on it.
Of course, sir. We simply had a quick inquiry. Garma, you lead. The funerary floor is yours, madam.
Good evening, sir.
The Shuni turns to you and squints through his pince-nez.
We're here because Marcus and I have been tasked with performing funeral services for Mrs. Fingeldingle. Marcus wasn't available.
Didn't she die 6 months ago?
Right. Like our Marcus was, as you could understand,
More
incredibly
of a
busy.
memoriam.
Right, and so we're going to perform a memoriam. What should have been done had, you know how elves are, without the proper... Normally this is all planned in advance, but her passing was so sudden that they didn't have...
He nods and starts rolling his hand, like, for you to get to the point. He's like, yeah, I get it. What do you need from me?
We're wondering if you'd be willing to cater the event.
Yes, of course, absolutely. 100%. Horbert was probably the only person in this whole God's forsaken city that I respect to know a damn thing about fish.
I hear you know quite a bit about fish yourself.
I better.
What do you know about a pyre poach fish?
It's a cheap thrill. It's a party trick. It's a tasty enough fish. A little expensive because you can't get them around here easy.
Is it just because of where you're located on the river, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there aren't any volcanoes near here, particularly aquatic ones.
So if someone were to give them as a gift here, that would be strange?
Not really. Like, you can get them, you just have to pay for it. I can get them for no problem. It's very simple.
I'm going to message Garma since this just takes me mouthing the words apparently. Ask him what he would serve Fingal Dingle's son.
What would Sorry, I got distracted there. I just heard about a pyre poached fish for the first time today, and the way you eat it was fascinating to me.
Cracking its skull.
Right. Before I get too far afield here, what would you serve Mr. Fingerdingle's son?
Marmok steak.
Common knowledge, he doesn't like fish.
Yeah,
Very well.
he's not like his pop. That actually ended up resulting in a lot of really nasty rumors that are completely unfounded. Horbert was incredibly loyal to Goalia. Neither of them would ever have strayed. So, Nimblehorn is he's an oddity in his family. But, like, that's just the roll of the dice, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just because your parents like fish doesn't mean you will. Besides, he's far better at being a mercenary than he would be at being a fisherman. I don't think he's got the patience for it.
Can I do a diplomacy check here to find out exactly what unfounded rumors he's referring to?
Yeah, sure, you can ask about the rumors, absolutely. And hit it with a diplomacy check if you want to for a bonus to whether or not he's receptive to repeating it. Go for it, baby. Hit me with that dice! That's a pretty good roll!
It's not terrible. What unfounded rumors, my dear Nog? This is the first we've heard of this.
Oh, well, of course it is, because they were all very summarily quashed. So, obviously, you have seen how much larger Nimblehorn is than his father.
Yes.
There were some doubts to Goalia's fidelity, but that was the bullshit. Just
Well, if you saw what my father looked like.
yeah. My father isn't a pug. My father's a Shiba Inu. So
Right.
Which is hilarious to mention because they don't actually exist in this world, but fuck it, we're gonna roll with it.
We're doing it. It's happening. Deal with it. And
So
a better world for it.
If you wouldn't mind, I know you said you had things to get to at home, but if you wouldn't mind humoring me about this pyre poached fish for a moment, when you say it's a party trick, are they typically if you were to get one as a gift, would you think it was a good gift, or would you just think someone didn't think much of you?
And how exactly do you serve it? I only have a little bit of knowledge of how it is caught.
I can answer both of your questions very quickly.
He points to you, Garma.
For you, easy. Does the person know anything about fishing? If not, it's a great gift. If it is, it's kind of middling on the gift list.
So, say if the Fingledingles received it as a gift, it wouldn't be much of a gift at all.
It would depend on who gave it. If it was someone new to the fishing life, then they might, the person themselves might be impressed by the novelty.
Which our gift giver certainly was. At least, am I correct in that?
Yeah, she was only.
Is that what I got out of her?
She'd been only in the business about 2 months.
Right,
So-
right.
Yeah, that person might have thought it was very novel and sent it.
Or cute, like most of the other things she has going for her.
He looks at you and he's like trying to parse what you might mean by that. Unless you were just thinking that out loud.
Oh yeah, just staring off into space here.
Gotcha. Okay. You're not giving anything up here. Gotcha. He's like, and what was your question?
How do you serve it?
How do you serve it?
Oh, easy.
Mm.
So serving it, a little tricky. you have to scale it first, because its scales have iron in it. Not like the iron for your blood, but like iron because they live near volcanoes. But underneath those iron scales is a beautiful red flesh.
I'm rather particular on the color red.
So you scale it, you gut it. That's pretty normal. You could take off the tail and the fins. It's got some spines along its back, which actually you can sell as sewing needles because they too are made of this natural iron. But it doesn't have any small bones. It's a very big bone fish. So you don't have to really worry about deboning it before you eat it, because you're not going to get any small bones in the meat. So after you've definned, deneedled, and descaled, and scaled the thing, then you can serve it on a bed of whatever it is that you wanna serve it with, season it up, and then all you do is you take a pair of it's skull crackers. You know, it's a nut cracker, but it's much larger, and you just squeeze and pop the head. When you hear the pop, he snaps his little fingers. You'll start to hear a sizzling, and that rich red flesh starting from right behind the head and slowly working its way down to the tail, it turns into a bright, warm pink. Cooks right before your eyes.
That
It
is
is-
quite the party trick.
Yeah, it's a novelty thing.
So, you seem
Oh, my dear man. Yeah, go ahead, Karma.
incredibly knowledgeable about this fish, and so would you indulge me with one more question?
You got as many questions as you're willing to make profitable for me.
I can
I will slip him
promise-
a gold for his time. I don't know how much that is to him, but I assume from just a common conversation, it's
No.
got to be worth something.
This is a business transaction. He takes it without even blinking, slips it into his little vest pocket, and motions for you to go on, Garma.
If you were to prepare, you obviously know how to prepare the fish,
Mhm.
and let's say you've prepared the fish, you've cracked the skull,
Mhm.
meat is cooked, and it was to be tampered with somehow, but tampered with in a way that you wouldn't know it was tampered with.
You mean like the average person wouldn't know, or like an expert wouldn't know?
Someone serving this to you, you're an I'm assuming you are an expert, on par with, let's say, the Fingal Dingle family.
So this is an interesting topic of conversation, and makes me think that something is a little bit off here. So in the interest of the safety of my establishment, my reputation, and this business as a whole, I am going to tell you this. I don't sell pyre poach regularly, because the process of cooking them makes them very easy to tamper with.
Can you tell me how?
Easy. You can season them with anything. The cooking process changes every flavor that's on that fish.
Fucking shit. Excuse me.
So,
Which is
and
why, here's the thing. Like, you can take all of this. The novelty doesn't end at how it cooks itself. It ends with what it does to the seasonings. If you put seasonings on a pyre poach that would make it sweet, it will come out sour. Or spicy, I suppose, a little more bitter. Alternately, if you put bitter seasonings on it, it will come out sweet.
and
It's as though the skin acts as taste buds changing rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
I have an alchemist friend that would love that.
Oh yeah, the alchemists like pyre poach. The brains.
so, and last question, I hope. So, if one were to deliver this fish as a gift, would they deliver it seasoned, or would they deliver it in a manner that the person that received it would have to prepare it the way you described? So, would it come seasoned where all the person that received the gift would have to crack the skull and they could eat? Or is it delivered in a fashion that they would have to go through the descaling and preparing and seasoning process themselves before they could eat it?
He's looking at you long and hard, trying to wonder what you're insinuating here. But after a moment, he raises a finger. After he's got his elbows on his little desk and his hands together, one hand over the other fist. He raises one finger, looking past it at you. He's like, I've been in this business a very long time, and I've heard and seen everything there is to know about this business. If you wanted to hurt someone with a pyre poach, whatever poison you wanted to put in it, you'd inject directly into its brain.
So then I guess it wouldn't matter.
When you crack the skull, the brain juice that flushes through it, that heavily pyre stone infused liquid that rushes through the rest of the fish is its response. It would carry any poison that you had placed in it through the whole fish. If I was going to do something like that to someone, that is how I would do it.
Would someone as knowledgeable as yourself be able to detect it at all?
The taste?
That the brain was tampered with. Like, is there, like, so for example, like if someone were to go that route, if you were to, let's say, or if someone gave a pyre fish to you as a gift, would you be able to know if the brain was tampered with by sight, or is that something that can be done really discreetly?
If they were stupid and went through, like, the eye or the top of the head, yes. If they were smarter about it, lifted the gills, and injected the brain through the gill flap, absolutely no way to tell.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time.
I'm going to slip him another gold because it's been at least 25, 30 minutes. It has to have been.
We'll say it's been 10. You can hold on to your gold. He's happy. He doesn't look like he's antsy or not enjoying this conversation. He's getting to talk about an obscure aspect of his vocation that never really comes up. How people can tamper with fish. Something that he is very knowledgeable about because he makes sure that people don't do it to his fish.
Yeah, well, then I still insist because expert knowledge is working.
I do have, actually,
that's fine.
That's fine. One more question.
Sure, shoot. Your friend seems to be paying.
Have you ever heard of a foot courier named Gil? Have you ever employed him?
Yeah, Gil's a good kid. He delivers my mail in the Parchment District.
Have you seen him lately?
Yeah, I saw him yesterday when he passed off a package.
When you say he's a good kid, does he know a lot about fishing? Like, is he someone that, like...
No, fishing doesn't matter to him. He's only...
delivery boy.
Yeah, actually, his only real passion is painting.
It takes all kinds, doesn't it?
He only delivers so that he can buy his painting materials.
Do you know where we could find him to speak with him?
Is he in trouble?
Mail route.
Oh no, no. That we're just curious. He delivered a package for someone about 3 weeks ago, and we're just trying to track down all the people that may have handled it. So we've already spoken to the person that orchestrated the delivery. We just want to speak to him about how the delivery went is all.
I mean, I know that he lives in the North Ward and that he delivers all throughout the city on foot. Mostly the Parchment District and the Trade District. Sometimes he goes into Raven Gate. Very rarely.
You might even meet him on the road.
I mean, it's possible, but you're not going to get that at night. His parents don't let him deliver at night.
Oh, he's a
Sure,
literal
we'll just-
kid. Oh, that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
understood.
he's like 12.
I
he's been
overlooked that. That's my
he
B.
been
That's my B. I overlooked that.
No, you're fine. He been delivering since he was 9, so he knows the whole city by like the back of his hand.
Maybe I'll have to ask him for directions somewhere if I see him.
Well, just make sure you put like a silver in his hand to make it worth his while. Kid doesn't work for free, nor should he.
Oh, I would never expect to take up someone's time for anything less.
That's obvious, and I like you for that.
I don't have any more questions. I really appreciate you speaking with us.
Of course. Did something? Are you think somebody fucked with? You think somebody hurt Norbert and Goalia?
We're just trying to cover all of our bases, like we were saying earlier. Elves usually have.
You can see the hackles rising on the back of his like dark black and brown and gray fur.
It's kind of like we were discussing earlier. It's unusual.
You think
for
someone
elves.
hurt my friends?
We're not sure. It's like we were saying. It's unusual for elves to pass suddenly with that. Usually they have. Their death is almost foretold.
Yeah,
And so
you're telling him things that he already knows. He's
Right,
like,
so-
you can see his little fists are like tightening. He's like, I'm gonna tell you something. If you find out if somebody did hurt those wonderful people, you're gonna tell me first. He stands up and puts his hands on his desk. He is still only a head shorter than you. He did not gain any height standing up, but he is looking straight at you, Garma. And this is the look of an old man with a lot of built-up brains. He's like, I don't care about your badges, and I don't care about Zelikos, and I don't care about the law. I care about justice. So when you find out who did what to my friends, you're gonna come here and you're gonna tell me. And I'm gonna make sure that they feel the justice that this community can dish out.
I can only make that promise under one compellation, sir.
He looks at you daringly, but doesn't tell you no.
And that's if they don't resist.
He starts tapping his fingers. Looks between the group of you.
Fine, deal.
I'll shake his paw on that one.
Yeah, he reaches out and grabs it. And this time, he shakes it with a firmness you wouldn't expect from such a small hand.
Well, I've got to know a gnome or two, so maybe it's not completely shocking.
Well, he is right now he is anger fueled, so maybe it's a little tighter than he intended, even for a little hand. So
Right. Bruise on my ring finger.
right, yeah, exactly. He sits back down. He's like,
And if you need anything else, you come here and you get me. Don't mess with those guys outside. There's no waiting. Just tell them you're here to see me. The pass phrase is Peskel. They'll just let you right in.
Thank you, my good man.
Yeah.
And with that, I'll turn and grab the
Okay.
company's attention and...
Wait a minute. Before you guys go,
he turns to one of his bookshelves and like thumbs through them real fast and takes one out. Opens it up. It says,
yeah. So,
What have you got, Nog?
about 6 months ago, there was a meeting at the Fisherman's Guild, and we all wanted to do something nice for Horbert and Goalia, right? So I sent a gift to the Fingledingles. It wasn't some goofy pyre poach, though. I sent them a ring rhymer. It's a northern fish, much rarer, excellent flavor. You serve it cold, which isn't difficult because, like the pyre poach, it eats like fish that are infused with rhinestone. So you can't cook it. Usually it's served as sushi because it's self-cooling.
Someone that doesn't like fish still wouldn't eat that.
Oh, of
I
course,
assume.
no, not at all. I mean, it's got a very fishy flavor, but it's very good, flavor. But yeah, I had that sent over. I think I had a Fey courier fly it over as a gesture of goodwill to the Fingledingles for all they'd done.
Bryce?
You think that might have been around the same time that whatever bad happened to them happened? Because, I mean, it was just around that time that Goalia took ill and...
We're getting a sense of an odd timeline with events as well.
Who else sent gifts? Who else sent gifts?
That would be Short Route.
He grips the page tightly, so tightly that it half rips. It's like, that little weed.
Now we
What do you know
can
about
make you
Short
some-
Route?
I know she's been taking up some of my business. Not enough to make a difference to me, but enough.
Would you say it's a friendly rivalry? Or has it been more invasive? Have any of her...
I hate that little weed because she doesn't hate me. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but like, I can't say that it is a bitter rivalry because admittedly I'm the only bitter one.
Well,
And I
I'm not
can't...
the best on personality judgments, but she seems a little naive and
Oh, she's too
a little
freaking-
adorable.
She's too nice about it. Like, I hate that I can't hate her. Oh, everyone else I've put out of business, everyone else that I have driven to the ground in this business has earned it, and I have felt good about it. But I can't with her. And maybe I'm getting soft in my old age.
perhaps it's because she's the newcomer up, Nog.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I see myself in her and I can't bring myself to put the axe to her business.
Well, her workers also have nice, tidy little uniforms. Handmade by her, in fact.
Oh,
What
that's
she
so...
says is true.
That's disgustingly sweet.
Oh, most desert flowers are.
Get out of my shop.
I'm sorry, quickly, what courier did you use?
Fey Postal Service. Standard service offered in the city. I scheduled the package pickup and delivery. I wasn't even here.
So you don't know who the courier was?
No, not a clue.
I'm assuming it was same day.
Oh yeah. It wouldn't take much to fly it from here to there.
It would have had to have been a sprite. Oh, I suppose there are a few other Fae with wings, but I'm not familiar with them. Not that well, anyway.
I just realized we are hella late for our lunch break.
well, we're having fun, so.
Say we started late too, so.
Also true.
I mean, I'm good. It's up to you guys. Whatever.
I am going to eat, but I have food. Jen delivered McDonald's to me, so I am quite good. I'm quite good. Lori, I don't know what you might want to do for food.
I mean, 4 o'clock is our usual cutoff time, so I could go straight through to 4.
Okay. Well, then we'll do that, and we'll just play while I eat. That's fine. I'm okay with that if you guys are okay with that.
I'm alright.
I don't mind.
Alright, cool. Oh, that's excellent. But boy, it's getting warm in this room, so I've got to...
It's not like we can't, if we later need a 5-10 minute break, can't get one, you know what I mean?
Right.
Nothing is fucked here, dude.
Indeed, nothing is. So Nog shoos you all out of his office, angry about the fact that he can't be angry at his competition.
I suppose
Alright.
we should just get out of here as quickly as possible so we don't continue to smell like fish.
Yes, I'm going to use prestidigitation to clear that up as quickly as possible. It'll probably take a minute or two, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want this shit on my boots.
You just don't want Regia following you. You smell delicious.
Yes, Garma, your cloak is slimy. I think you brushed up against the wall at some point.
Sounds about right.
Should we head back to the tavern and discuss what we have?
Yeah, I really need to reorganize my thoughts.
Around a beer.
It is after dark. Mother wouldn't say a word. And by then, one of the girls would have put one in front of my book anyway.
Probably. So you guys make your way back through the city.
Yeah, obviously to the lamb.
It is not as lively as it was last night before all of the celebration kicked off, or before the attack. But it is still pretty lively. Things are kicking back up.
Right. Well, it's a week-long celebration, right? Is it a week or 2 weeks? I don't remember.
It is 3 days.
Oh, 3 days. So we're coming up to the end of it, basically, anyway.
Right. We're about halfway through it at this point, because the original Night of Defiance was 72 hours of sunlessness, wherein the entire world was pitched in a war for its life. And so they celebrate for 3 days, to commemorate the victory.
Right, with bright stones everywhere, because God forbid it gets dark like that again.
Right. The lamb is, of course, hopping as always, but your spots at the bar are reserved.
First, I say we bother your uncle for a round.
Regia pounds a fist on the bar. Hey, Uncle Hawk!
Oh, not the blackout, though. Not for me, anyway. Just a mead.
Hawk pokes his head out from the back, sees who's, shouting for him. He's like, "Oh, you're back. Excellent." Comes around. He's, wiping blood off of his hands with a towel. It's like, "You kids look famished."
I am now.
Well, what do you want?
Hawk steak, rare, please.
One house special coming up.
Hold the butter again. Although it was marvelous.
No butter this time. Got it. Kiddo? Regia's like, make that 3.
Oh shit, and a mead.
Yeah, and 3 meads.
Regia, we can do this all night, but I'll never keep up.
You don't have to keep up.
Hawk looks at Marcus. Marcus is like, a meat and, if you have it, a salad. If not, whatever you've got. I'm not picky. Stew all right? Stew is fine, thanks. Turns and looks at you, Garma. What you having there, kid?
I'll have a blackout myself, and then if you have any of the stew with that bread that you had earlier would be absolutely incredible.
Zelikos almighty, another blackout, Dharma.
Listen, it's not the wine, okay?
That's,
I've had a day.
It is not the Elster wine.
Yes, I'll say, at least I'll be able to function with this meal. I'm not about to head off to start my day.
Let me see if this is gonna work. I know we've been running it for a hot minute.
Oh yeah, I might have a heart attack.
Hey, it worked. We're there. Is everybody there?
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's been working very smoothly today. I will say that.
Aside from getting everybody in, after that it worked perfectly.
I think that was the updates. I bet.
Yeah, it had
literally
to have
loaded
been.
like on a
4
nickel.
seconds.
Like,
Yeah.
It was quick once that got settled. So I bet
So-
that's exactly what it was.
So Hawk snaps his claws and gives you a shooter asking for the blackout stout. Heads off to start getting people drinks and food.
By chance, is Gam Gam Glug Glug here since we did invite her to partake on our tab? I've
Take a
just
look.
always wondered if she ever made it.
Take a look
Oh,
around.
fuck, I forgot.
I'm looking around, but she's a tiny person. Reja, do you see a tiny, older, lightly scarred woman in here just pounding alcohol?
She lifts her head and looks around. Nah.
I gotta say, if I'm mad at anybody about all of this, it's that our dear Gam Gam didn't get to have any fun after the first night because she was assaulted so violently.
I mean, she's alive.
Right, but she should be here getting the alcohol we promised, if nothing else.
Marcus leans so that both of you can see him. He's like, well, maybe we can take her, like, a little gift or something. You know, just
Take
a,
it to
hey,
a water park.
we're glad... We might lose her, dog. We might lose her in the tide pool.
Crap. No, you're right.
Yeah, maybe we'll take her, like, a little gift or something. Like a hey, happy you're not dead type thing.
My gods, what have I gotten into? We could always just visit her in 6 months after we've fully trained the dog.
This is true. We could return dog to her.
I wasn't suggesting that. It is quite a magical item for us to have. Starting off on our adventures, and we already have a chef. Well, a mildly insane chef, but at least we don't have to pay it. Him, her.
Hawk lays out drinks before everyone.
Excellent.
Oh God. Go ahead and put back half of that.
That's a strong start.
All right, so voice is down, obviously, but what do we know? We know the sun doesn't eat fish, which is, quite frankly, fucking weird.
Parentage questions aside.
Oh yeah, well, not to get me started on said rumors, and this is the first time we've heard about it, but clearly Nog is much closer to the Fingal Dingles than Short Root. Although apparently Short Root may not be an entire ass hat. The way I was, oh my god, I take off my hat because I realize I'm wearing my hat inside. I don't know. I liked her. I thought she was fine.
I kind of
That's not a euphemism.
I mean, and the delivery person is a child, so I doubt it.
I don't think a 12-year-old knew to stick a... Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Just out here with an ice pick. Ha ha ha, Fingle Dingle, you're mine. Like, no, that doesn't...
Right.
That doesn't add together the way I thought it would. Sorry, the old man always told me to view every angle, so this is... It's like when I overlook at a puzzle. And then I never put it together. I end up scraping it onto the floor and yelling at the gnome shopkeep that I bought it from.
I still haven't come any closer to figuring out how he knows about the lore he shouldn't know about. And why would a shipping company or someone... Well, I don't think either shipping company did the poisoning. I think...
At this point, I
kind of feel like perhaps we need to look into who delivered.
either Nog is the best actor in the world, or Deleshi's the best actress in the world. I don't get a sense of either of them. But
Marcus is nodding and he points to. He's like, "I'm with your gut impression on this one, dude. I don't think either of them had anything to gain by poisoning what is essentially their meal ticket."
the benefactor, yes. And I hate to say it because the son seemed so genuine. His aging father.
I just went there myself. What if it is the son? What if nothing was poisoned initially and he poisoned it himself? But he doesn't know anything about fire poach, so I don't know that he would know how to poison it to get past his dad, but maybe the other... Or maybe Thaniel knew and they were working together.
Reja's like tapping a claw on on one of her mugs. She's like, "Nah. Look, I know I'm not like the most perceptive one of us, but I know the type of killer a person is by looking at them in their eyes. And Nimblehorn might be a man that can kill, but he's doing it with a sword." So I don't think he's the poisoner. Also, why would he even hire us for this if he'd already essentially gotten away with it scot-free?
Well, out of character guilt, but in-game clueless. Oh, cripes. You know what we didn't ask? We didn't ask, recall here. The rumor is that Nimblehorn's father is not his father.
There is those were rumors that were very summarily quashed.
Okay.
Nimblehorn is just a different animal than his dad, that's all.
But we don't know who started those rumors either, though.
Regia scoffs into her drink. Poof. Bet it was that Thaniel asshole.
Now there's an idea, Raja.
She looks over like, really? I was just bad-mouthing the guy.
That's a good one, though. He's a sleaze. That's what everyone's told us. We haven't heard anything positive about him except from the Leshy, and apparently she likes everyone from straight Darksiders all the way to just... That's the vibe I get from her at this point.
Regia grins, just like, awesome, huh? I'm better at this than I thought. Finishes off her first mead.
So do you think maybe we're just... Do you think Faniel just kind of put us off in the wrong direction?
I think it seems he's very good at that. It's already happened once with the Red Bills, has it not?
Right, and I still can't figure out what was the benefit of the heist, other than money. But he wanted a lure that would make him money anyway, so I can't put this all together yet.
Fingers in many pots.
Marcus is looking down into his glass, thinking for a moment, and then he looks over at you guys and says, Book of Flame, Chapter 4, Verse 3. A candle lights, a fire cooks, an inferno destroys. What if he's just, like, in too deep in too many things?
As I said, fingers in many pots.
Yeah. I think you might be onto something, my guy. Short Root was like, she doesn't understand what kind of crap a person would have to be going through to be as unpleasant as he is. Well, what if this is it? What if something that he's up to or something that he's involved in is why he's so unhappy?
What's our
Let's
next
take a vote. Exactly, let's take a vote. And I'm going to go ahead and say aye, but I think we need to visit Daniel again. And this time, well, perhaps we might have to be a little more forceful. At the very least, surround him.
Russia slams down her second mead as she was drinking it, spills a little onto the bar, and she's like, "Yes, finally!"
Do you think that's really gonna work though? It didn't work before.
Well, we also weren't surrounding him, and we also didn't have as much as we have now. But we can sleep on it. We can always attempt to find it in the morning.
I almost feel like we need to just handle it now.
Yeah, but are we gonna be able to find him now?
Fair point, fair point.
Because, like, he's probably not still on the bridge.
We know where he's regularly at. You can always sleep on it. Have a good meal. Think of any other angles while we have time, and sleep on it. I hate that I still suspect the son. I remember a time I was in a drinking competition with the old man, and he was using his boot of holding to hide the contents of his flask.
Hawk has begun delivering dishes.
Oh, thank God. Famished talk. Thank you. Go ahead and start cutting into that for sure.
Regia pulls off a gauntlet to reveal her just massive clawed hand, picks up one of the steaks and just starts chomping into it.
While I have you, my mother would be quick to tell me I need some form of veg to go with this bloody delicious masterpiece. If you have anything you recommend.
Hawk's, well, I mean, I could get you a
I could get you a salad, but that'll take a while because I don't have any ready.
Gross. That'll work.
I mean, that's why I got Marcus stew, since I didn't really have any salad ready. I could get you a stew, like a small side one. There's some veggies in that.
You know what? That'll be fine.
Okay, I'll be back. And Hawk heads to the back again.
Oh, and another mead, my good man.
Gotcha. Hey SMC, how are you? Good to see ya.
Well, none of us are a fan of Thaniel, so it's probably just better to rip the gauze off. That's still my vote for the morning. The rest of you can think on it, but
I don't think it's gonna be a bad idea to go and talk to him again. I think it'll be alright. I mean, if he gets too rude, then we'll dunk him.
you can always stick Reza on him, yeah.
Russia grins over with just steak juice running down her chin. She's very excited about the idea of being able to put her considerable strength to work.
I'm gonna cough like I just remembered something and cut up a few small cubes and put them into my staff at the top of the staff. Feed that slime.
So, one more time, just to make sure that we have all of our marmots in a row. We're pretty sure that neither of the shopkeepers, neither of the warehouse or dispensary owners are in on it. And neither is the son, right?
You would have to know too much about fishing to I think, to get something by.
Right, the son never took up any type of fishing, doesn't enjoy it, doesn't eat it. He will know how to do something like that. It seems there's too many ways to make a mistake for an amateur.
Right.
Eye, head, I mean, that's two of three. 2 of 3 spots I would have. I clearly know diddly other than how they catch them.
Marcus nods. He's like, yeah, I never would have thought to go through, like, the gill.
Right, I just think that Corbett would know something was off right away.
So it would,
This is his livelihood.
have to be someone who is knowledgeable about fish.
Right.
So not the courier.
Unless,
Certainly not a 12-year-old.
No.
right, not the 12-year-old, unless it was intercepted at the post office somehow.
Although I know several little kids that were terrors around that age.
What if the courier was intercepted?
That's what I was thinking too, but I'm not totally familiar with sprites, so...
No, I mean, the kid.
Oh, you mean like someone approached the kid?
Well, easily intimidated into not saying anything. Or perhaps coerced into believing that it was acceptable.
If the,
Rendezvous rather than his delivery destination. Well, we could try to find excuse me, we can try to find Gil before Daniel, if y'all want. We know where he delivers. I believe it's Ravensward. Raven's. Raven.
Parchment
was it?
District, Trade District. Northward.
Northward.
Lives in Northward. Northward. Delivers to mostly Parchment and Trade District. Sometimes into South District, but not very far.
I heard Raven. That's good.
He probably never goes to Raven Gate.
Well, I mean,
Well.
we could start early tomorrow and try to find the boy.
He's got a mail route. It's early. It has to be early. It's up to the three of you. I do think that is also a worthy shot. At least coming into contact with him and seeing if he remembers. It was a while ago for a kid, but it is his job to deliver.
I mean, Faniel's pretty distinct, so I think he'd remember a guy with an eye patch.
That's also true.
It gives us a line of reason of questioning at least.
I'll say that might be the better, instead of just shaking him down right away.
Let's do
Faniel
that. And if
immediately.
it turns out he was the one that intercepted the boy, at least we have enough evidence to shake him down, right? Intercepting a courier has to be worth something.
Right, it's just a matter of then what do we do with that information?
Well,
I guess that's tomorrow's problem.
Regia finishes her second mead. She's like, "You're right, that is tomorrow's problem," slams the mug down. "For tomorrow's Regia. Tonight's Regia's problem. Hey, Uncle Hawk, can I get 2 more meads?" Is getting drunk.
She'll be able to fight in the morning. Besides, if we have to fight the 12-year-old, I think one of us can handle that.
I think it's going to
I'm
take a
kidding.
lot more than 4 meads to put her down anyway. Actually, I think she might be a good asset for the 12-year-old. I don't know if he's ever seen someone so substantial.
Well, doing the math, she got 3. Now she's got 2. She's going to have 5, Karma.
Oh. I was too busy eating my stew, if I could be honest with you.
You don't
I
count
work in a
drinks, you
bar.
feel them.
So I glanced at Regia. Well, we also had to know when to stop serving someone. Not that I think you at that point. I did grow up in a...
She's sucking the steak juices off of her fingers and claws.
I did grow up in a brothel, after all. Bar, brothel.
Wait, where did you grow up?
The midnight snack in home. It's a after hours club, I guess is a gentler way of putting it.
Thought I heard you say brothel there for a minute.
It serves that purpose, yes.
Interesting. And here I was thinking you just liked food.
And drink after dark.
Regia leans over, she's like, "Who doesn't like food?" And by leans
Believe it
over,
or not, I used to get dragged to church.
by leans over, I mean she's leaning over top of Garma in order to look down at you. It's like, who doesn't like food?
I envision like just a debris of steak just came flying out of her mouth onto you.
Oh gosh.
I'm just gonna hand you my napkin so you can just, you know, clear that from your face.
There's loud wet slurping from directly above Garma's head.
Dear God, woman, if you weren't so large, I think we would have abandoned you by now.
Oh, you can't get rid of me that quick.
But yes, I spent a lot of time there in my 62 years. I pretty much only went outside at dark until I got older. And that went on for a long time. I think I was in my late teens, before I was allowed to go out during the day. Most of the time I spent up in the loft studying. We're in a decent enough district, but it is
It's
bit
a
of an
city.
area.
It's got its good elements and its bad elements. The Book of Illumination tells us every light casts a shadow.
But yes, I grew up around a lot of tieflings there. My mother employs many of them. They're amazing dancers. And that's all I really have to say about that. Can I get another mead?
As you're saying this, Hawk is already delivering another one for you.
Oh, praise the Lord. Quick,
He takes your empty away. He's like, "Don't worry, boyo. I got you. They're coming. Straight coming to you. I'm keeping my eyes on it." Rachel looks over and she's like, "So wait, a brothel? Is that like an SUV?"
yes, well, with way more than the dragon folk. There's a little bit more of a variety.
Well, I mean,
And-
variety
and-
is
and-
kind of determined by the
are those-
clientele.
Are those similar to a bathhouse? I forget my.
Little bit of a bathhouse. Well, I mean, it really depends. There's one here in the city. The Golden Lotus over in Ravengate.
Is it a brothel? Do I know that? Is that in my repertoire, my society repertoire here?
Yeah, without even needing to roll, you are aware of the Golden Lotus. It is one of the most popular pleasure houses on the east side of the inland, on the west side of the inland sea.
So mother could have easily mentioned their business at some point.
Yeah, as popular as the Midnight Snack is, and as big a city as home is, the Golden Lotus is probably the premier, the most popular house of joy, as the term SUV roughly translates into. On the continent of Theranor. There might be a couple of other places that rival it for its reputation, but it is essentially like the MGM Grand of this type of establishment.
Ah, okay. Well, Regia Garmino, it's more of a. I think the correct term would be strip club.
I mean, they do that at the Golden Lotus.
Well, I'm just saying more with a midnight snack. Seems like to me.
Oh, okay. So
yes, it is a.
So like a smaller Golden Lotus.
Yeah, yes, significantly smaller.
Have you ever been there?
This is my first time in Eldor.
She slams her fist on the counter. She's like, "We should go there."
We should absolutely not go there.
Aww, why? It's great.
It's competitive business with my mother. I would never hear the end of it, especially if somehow, some way, and I'm just gonna glance at the slime. Word of that gets back to the old man. He would tell my mother, and they'd have a laugh.
Oh, come on. It's a great time. I've met Madame Culpa. She's so great.
Shit. Garma, Marcus.
I've been
If-
just focusing on stew and bread, so I'm flustered by you calling my name suddenly.
I believe Regia has propositioned a SUV trip.
We don't
I mean,
have
we
to
are.
go, right now.
but, like, we should make a point to go there at some point. Because, like, you can't come to Aeldor and not go to the Golden Lotus.
I'll tell you what, when we solve this, we'll make that our grand finale of the city before we head on. If we head on, or wherever this leads to. Does everyone in accord with that?
She reaches over Garma, you know, wet drippings off of her hand, just and holds it out to you, Tay. She's like, deal!
I'm gonna shake her nasty ass claw and then press the digitation in my hand clean, rather than dirty up a napkin, because I'm assuming that's a lot of food.
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point, she is pulling apart steak with her claws. So
Yeah, a couple clicks on the ground with the staff, shaking it like I'm trying to shake some cleaner out on my hand, and watch it just spark away. No offense, Raja. That's just
Offense? For what? She has no eyes, no sense of whatever you just did. She's already back to eating.
right. Well, I vote for the long rest option, or whatever the equivalent is in Pathfinder at this juncture.
The long rest is probably a wise decision.
We've got some shaking down to do tomorrow, so.
Right. A good old fashioned shake it down.
Well, first a question. First an investigation into a courier, and then a shakedown.
Yes.
Right.
But before I go, I want.
I mean, we can shake down the kid.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing stopping you.
Hawk, my friend, can you just, out of curiosity, do you have anything back there that's raw?
Yeah, I got a ton of stuff back here that's raw.
I'm trying to think of what would be best for Dog's first cooking experience.
Dog. You mean that cauldron that you brought in here the other, earlier today?
Yeah,
oh, no, he's gonna tell us it broke the door down.
We are about to go to retire, but I was curious if anyone wanted to see Dog do its thing. I could bring it down and have it just, like, sit on the bar top here.
He looks around, he's like... I mean, if you're trying to start up, like, a party type thing, be the center of attention, then yeah, sure, I'm pretty sure plenty of people would love to see a cauldron that walks around on its own on the bar top.
On second thought, no. I'll just take whatever you have that's raw and easy to cook in case it doesn't do its job, and I consume raw meat. I won't be violently ill.
I mean...
Oh, I think it's going to work, Arma. I don't think there's anything wrong with the magic of it. I think it just has a quirk. I mean, when I examined the item, it seems as though it functions just fine. It's just...
Hawk's like
and I hate to say
scratching
this,
at his
but
scaled
weird.
chin. It's like, well, I mean, I could give you the stuff to start a stew.
That sounds excellent.
Oh, what about a hot cocoa? We could end the night with a hot cocoa. Is that...
Would you like me to get Dog and make you a hot chocolate, my dear friend?
I mean, if we're trying to do this in just the four of us, not have the whole party going on, then maybe a dessert, right?
Well, I could bring Dog outside.
Could also just
Instead
do
of
it in the
this
room.
bar. That's true too. I do have a room. I just didn't know how big it was.
Oh,
And it
hold
was,
on. No, I like Garma's idea there, Regia. We could have a hot chocolate in the cold. It's probably the temperature's probably dropped a little bit now.
Sorry, I don't think Regia would fit.
Oh, in the rooms? Surely.
The rooms are designed for occupants of any size.
Yeah, all the species.
Which means that the door is very large, but not unusable for you.
Oh yeah, that bloody half-orc guy was larger than her, wasn't he? I mean, was I misinterpreting that?
Oh no, yeah. He is
a big old barrel of a man.
Big, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, in that case, since I'll just go run and get Dog, and we can convene outside for hot chocolate, and then maybe if it does that well, I'll feel
Actually,
better
imagine
about
him being built like Kung Fu
cooking
Panda.
food.
Sure, and I'll Hawk's like, and I'll get I think I've got some dark chocolate in the back, and
Well, that's the one.
I'm pretty sure I've got plenty of milk. Is
my friend, you should join
Marmok milk is okay? It doesn't matter to you guys that it's lizard, right?
I mean, I can't imagine it tastes any different.
Not really.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm gonna scooch off the stool.
And you
drop
got you
underneath.
want me to come out with you?
Why not?
Well, let me check with the boss lady, see if I can take 5.
Alright, I'm gonna scooch off my stool, duck underneath
Finn
Rej's
loves this.
giant arm, and go upstairs and collect dog.
You go upstairs. There is no scratching at the door, so he must have been very obedient about you not trying to follow you.
I take a deep breath and I open the door, and there he is.
There he is, on his back with his 4 little legs just clawing at the air slowly and listlessly. Obviously at this point there is there's no will to live. It's just tiny little movements, almost like a puppy swimming in the air, knowing that his feet can't do shit, and there's nothing for him now. This is his fate.
Oh, dog. Follow?
It pauses, then stretches out its legs, then tries really, really hard, but it's upside down, and it's a cauldron.
Oh yeah, that thing's fucked without some help.
I walk over and I write it awkwardly because I still am confounded by a cauldron that moves like an animal, but I write it.
As
Give it a
soon
good
as it's
pat.
righted, it just starts pushing against you, and it is an iron cauldron, so it is trying its best to get close to you in gratitude for writing it and for returning.
Dog, stop.
It does not stop.
Alright, dog, just follow. Wait, you can't go down the stairs, can you? Stay.
It's just circling in place now. It has no idea what to do because you keep giving it conflicting.
Does it have a handle?
It does. It has 2 handles.
I'm just gonna grab it by the handle and we're just gonna force it down the stairs now, because I remember now it can't climb the stairs without falling, so...
It kind of trips and clunks ting, kong, ting, 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 behind you until the bottom few steps where it sort of falls past you and to the floor.
Well, alright then, have it your way, dog. Dog, follow.
It jumps up, it's all posted up, just straight-legged, and it's just looking right at you. Get the sense that it's looking right at you. It does not have a face. but you have the idea that it is on you.
I just start walking out because I don't want to talk to it too much.
It is right behind you, sometimes
Excellent.
catching your heels.
I'm just gonna wait outside for everybody with the hot chocolate supplies.
Yeah, Hawk comes out with a pitcher of milk and a wrapping of dark chocolate, and he's like, "All right, so how does this work?"
Oh, that's the fun part. Just chuck it in.
He makes a motion all of it, pitcher and everything.
Just the ingredients.
Oh, okay.
Think of it just like a mixing bowl rather than anything else.
All right. He pours in the pitcher of milk, unwraps the big old chunk. It's a big chunk of dark chocolate. This is going to be very rich. Tosses that in. For Hawk, it's almost the full size of his fist. So this is a very chocolatey drink. And he watches, and you all watch as it starts to froth. And then it starts to change color as the chocolate within melts, and it starts to mix itself. You see a slight circling motion as something about the cauldron begins to stir itself.
I just imagine it boogieing on all four legs, you know,
Oh yeah, it's just like
to stir. Like that's what I was sitting there thinking. Yeah,
it's like shaking a little bit side to side.
that's certainly a nifty, wondrous item there, Garma.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Hawk's scratching the base of his horn. He's like, yeah, that's actually really useful. Where'd you guys say you got this?
Gam Gam Club, wasn't it?
Yes. Gam Gam was kind enough to give it to us.
Chances are slim to none she's got another one. I could use an army of these in the back room.
Well, I mean, it does stay in my room for a majority of the day doing nothing. If you would like to use it, I'm sure it would be happy to have something to do.
I mean, are you
Burn
sure?
off some of that magical energy, yeah.
I guess it's like a working cauldron. You know? Can't leave them alone without too much stimulation.
To be frank, I feel sorry for it when it's just sitting up in my room by itself all day. The state it was in when I got back today was really, well.
Was it alright? Is the room damaged?
The room, the room is fine. It just looked like it had given up its will to live.
Oh no.
Like I said, maybe something to burn off some of that excess magical energy.
Marcus is a few feet away, just like nodding to people and like making the sign of the shield in the air to a few people as they walk by and wave to him.
Should we all? Is it ready? Should we all partake in some hot chocolate before?
Well, let me go grab some mugs real fast so we're not just scooping this out with our hands. So Hawk runs inside to grab mugs. He's back in like moments. Some nice, tall wooden mugs. You know the kind with the handle on the side, like basically a highball glass, but made of wood with a handle on the side.
That sounds delicious.
So Hawk dunks his in, and you know it lets us fill. He's like, "It smells safe."
Same. Gonna go ahead and get a serving of that. once everybody's armed, I'll toast to us and this goofy, wondrous item we've acquired. Dog, thank you, of course, for the hot chocolate.
It
Yes,
seems to
dog.
shake a little bit with pleasure as you praise it. It's like a very excited dog.
Ah, see, quirky.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Well, down the hatch. It tastes
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. Hot chocolate.
It's not bad. It's not good. It's just
It is warm.
Pretty
and
decent for
it
that.
is warm and semi-sweet chocolate and slightly sweet from the milk itself. So
good. And I thought it was going to be a lot richer. That worked out. It must have been the stirring process. But what do I know? I don't cook.
Regia's like smacking her lips after having some. She's like, "This needs liquor."
Oh, Regia, just... You know what? You do
I'm
you.
just going to put my hand over my eyes and laugh.
She's like looking at it like it's not bad, but it needs more, you know? As in, it needs an ABV.
I think you just need 3 more mugs, probably, based on your serving size. Well, folks, I am going to retire for the evening. I need to look over the spell book here. Tap, tap. Then, yeah, get a good 4 hours at least.
Well, I will, Hawk, would you like Dog to stay in the kitchen tonight, or do you want me to bring Dog up to my room and you can just retrieve it whenever you like?
Well, I mean, you were kind enough to share some of this hot chocolate with me, so I feel like it's only fair that I clean the dog. So, why don't you leave him with me? I'll clean him out so that he's ready for you to use whenever you need to. I can just leave him in the kitchen. I'm in there almost all the time.
That sounds excellent. Dog, you listen to your friend Hawk. I doubt you'll understand anything I just said, but be good, Dog.
Dog starts...
It reacts like a dog to the bath, though.
Dog starts walking in place. Like, it's like stamping all four of its feet very excitedly. It is... If it doesn't understand, then it sure seems like it does. And it seems like it's very excited about this.
Excellent. Well, on that note, I believe I might as well retire as well.
Let me see. This seems like a good time. Okay.
So everyone retires for the evening?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the... Yeah.
Okay. Tay, your reverie. Anything that you're particularly focusing on or deducing?
No, just thinking about how it was, this evening kind of went, how it would have gone at home. I would have probably had a book out and had a drink slapped in front of me regardless of whether I was paying attention or not.
Okay, so your reverie is spent thinking about your home.
Yeah.
That's right, you don't sleep.
I can, it's just, it's like a... I think being half elven kind of gives me access to an either or situation.
Mm-hmm. If he feels the need to sleep, he can do it.
And it's not like if they're actually exhausted, they can still like just straight up sleep. I mean,
Right.
It happens.
I would say probably for a half elf at a certain level of exhaustion, they probably do need the full sleep.
Yeah.
But like, you'd have to have been, fighting for a long time or running for. You'd have to be like thoroughly exhausted. Garma, the night is yours. What are you going to do with your evening?
Well, my sleep's gonna be a little fitful because despite my misgivings about Dog, I do miss it.
Okay. It doesn't help that you're woken up like every hour or two by seeing things.
Yeah.
The room downstairs. The fireplace in the kitchen. You actually see Hawk scrubbing out Dog. At one point in your mind's eye, you are actually staring down at your own face. But when you open your eyes, there's nothing there looking at you. But that is how your night goes.
Yay. I'm I'm gonna say I'm up earlier before everyone else. Just half scared, half accepting, just hoping not to sleep like that again.
Once you've finished waking up, Garma, you have the sense that something about you is different, but you aren't quite sure what. It's not a physical thing, but something about you has changed.
Like, are you talking like my... Or is that...
Have you ever woken up and felt not quite like the same person who went to bed the night before?
Yes.
It's a little like that. You don't feel agitated. You don't feel nervous. It just...
I'm mentally unsettled.
Yeah. And as much as I hate to say it, for the next day, you are going to be suffering a -2 perception penalty because you did not get enough sleep.
Okay.
Not that that's going to hurt you too bad, because you're normally a plus, a +5 anyhow, or a +7?
Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah, you're a +7. So...
That could still...
It could still be the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a stacking debuff. So if you can, if as it is, I roll the dice for you. If you continue to have bad nights, it gets progressively worse.
Gotcha.
But it is the morning. The sun has risen. The sound of revelry is still loud in the streets. It's Mardi Gras at this point. Things have gotten into full swing after not yesterday's, but the day before's attack. This final day is probably going to be a whole lot of people celebrating extra hard for the time that was lost.
Oh boy.
So anticipate raucousness in the streets, my friends.
Raucous. A raucous. I'm gonna snap out of my reverie. Desert flower.
Oh, we know
What? I need a coffee.
Easily attainable.
I'm gonna, for lack of better terms, grab my shit
And get.
and get. Yes.
Delightful.
Pull that robe on a little bit. Yeah. Straighten up the collar there. Pull boots on, whatnot.
I'm assuming when you go to the bar to get coffee, I'm already there.
Are you already
Oh,
there?
yeah.
Garma, all
I
you told me was that you were up before everyone else.
I was up
so-
very, very early, so yeah, I'm assuming that I gave up on sleep at some point and
Okay.
just I'm at the bar already.
Well, Finn is working the bar this morning.
Oh, I like Finn.
We all like Finn.
She's smoking her cigar. It's early. She's got a cigar. She's got her cup of coffee. She's just kind of looking at the morning crowd that are coming in. Some are eating breakfast. Some are just there to get a coffee on their way to work. A lot of people are still there from the night before. Still drinking.
Is Regia there too?
Regia is still there. But she is asleep at a table in the corner.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm not going to have anything to do with that. Let sleeping scaled ones lie. So I'm going to head to the bar and, all things considered, I think I'd like tea. I'm going to start my morning with tea. I had a pleasant dream.
Tea? Sure enough.
Very patient, long thought.
Finn gives you an upward nod as you approach. What you need there, hon?
Finn, my dear, strong brewed tea, my dear.
Strong brewed tea, alright. Sure, I got you. She heads to the back, comes out with a teapot that has already been steeping, and a teacup. Sets the cup down, pours the cup of tea into it, and it is almost pitch black. It almost looks like coffee, except that it looks almost like watered down coffee. But you can smell an herby aroma coming from it, verifying that it is tea.
That'll work. I'm going to sip on that and pull out my spellbook and do my usual.
It is an interestingly slightly sweet black tea. You didn't see her put any sweeteners in it.
Well, that's delightful. Figures can't be choosers, but does that give me a daily bonus on my daily preparations? No, I'm just kidding. I am going to apply my usual spell list to my
Okay.
Just do the mage armor as usual. I think that's a good way to.
Did you need me to help you with your spell list, bud?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think it stays basically the same since I'm just keeping mage armor on there.
Detect magic, prestidigitation, telekinetic projectile, mage hand, message, mage armor.
Yeah, I don't think I have any other options. I think that's all my cantrips, and I only have like 2 first levels anyhow, I think. Unless one of those actually might be my what's it called spell? My magi spell. But no, I'm gonna go ahead and prep and cast mage armor like I usually would I mean, it's gonna last all day. We're possibly gonna get into it.
Did you want to take the time to cast it as a ritual before leaving so it doesn't use your spell slot?
Can I do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Any of your spells you can cast as a ritual without using a spell slot. It's just not something that you can do instantly. The spell slots are for, like, immediate need spells to be cast on the fly, but any of your spells you can cast as a ritual.
Okay, well then I will...
That'll save you a spell slot later on down the road if you need it.
Yeah, for me, if I can do it this small, I will just trace it.
Yeah, it's
Matter of
maybe,
fact, I'm just going to shrink down my staff to like the size of a spoon and trace it on the counter and just do it that way if I can. Take the time, a minute, 2 minutes, whatever it takes.
It's only like a 10-minute ritual, so it's probably something you'd want to do in your room. It's just slow weaving incantations instead of forcing the spell to instantly take. You know what I mean?
Right, okay. Well, then we'll rewind a little bit. I did that upstairs. Here we are now.
We can totally retcon that to be the first thing you did after you woke up. Totally fine.
Yeah. After hollering out desert flower. But yeah. But no, that's fine. We'll just rewind and do that. And now I'm enjoying tea, and I guess since my hands are freed up, I'll pull out the pipe instead. I'm smoking here.
So, Finn takes out a small Pyrestone striker and lights your pipe for you.
You're a gem, Finn.
She flips it shut with a flourish. She's like, I know. Slips that into her side pouch. So, what's Ealdor's newest do-gooders up to today, huh?
Well, hopefully we're not going to put too much trauma into a boy and put a lot of trauma into someone that's well deserving.
She seems satisfied with that. She's like, oh, good. Who's the hopefully not traumatized one that we're talking about here?
Our
She blows a ring of smoke above your head.
we've got our delivery boy friend name of Gil.
I want to counter that smoke ring with a dart, like a smoke dart.
Nice. Yeah, she's like, yeah, that's good. That's good. Gil, name sounds familiar. Is that a small blonde kid?
Yeah, I think he's half elven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know him. Well, I know of him. He's delivered through, here before.
Well, from what we're told, he's a good kid.
Yeah, he's, as far as I know.
Out of character. Does Finn know we're on an investigation? I can't remember if we talked to her about it, like, openly.
No, but she's probably heard you since you've been in her establishment and talking about it.
Alright, fair.
But no,
I feel like probably the whole town knows about what we're up to.
You did not
Oh, Christ.
specifically mention to her anything.
Alright, well, out of character, do we want to keep it that way, Garma, or...?
I don't think she's necessarily untrustworthy, but I feel like the less the town knows, the better.
That's my mindset, too. Well, then I'll tell Finn that we're just looking into a shipment that he delivered a while back.
Little guy's not in trouble, is he?
No, I don't think so at all.
You know, Finn, we got these ridiculous badges on, and some days it's fun. Other days we gotta tie up loose ends that really don't need tying, but we do have to answer to some folks that want us to tie up some loose ends, so... The last day of the festivities we'll be chasing down a boy, which is unfortunate, but...
Well, I mean, you don't even have to chase him down. I know his parents. I can give you his address.
Well, that's wonderful news. That would save us a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's no reason for you guys to spend the final day of celebration running all over the city looking for one kid who could be anywhere all over the city.
Oh, well, I figured we'd just turn into a swarm of bees and split up 100 directions and, get to him within the hour. No, Finn, that would be lovely. We would greatly appreciate any assistance.
Oh, good. You guys might be able to wrap things up in time to still have a party.
That would be even better, since that's supposedly what I
can't
got sent
believe
here
we're
for.
on day 3 of this festival already, and I don't know that we've really...
Well, I don't know. From what I saw the other, not last night, but the night before last, you guys tore shit up pretty well.
Well, we dunked a goofball many times. It was great.
This brings you both back to when you watched Finn beat one of the Red Bill dudes to death. With her bare hands.
Well, it was well deserved, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, let's see. North Ward. So, if you go to Cloud Street, Northward, I think, if memory serves me, it's 732 Cloud Street, North Ward.
732 Cloud Street, Northmore. I think we can locate that.
You want me to jot it down for you?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't say no.
Sure. She reaches into her side pouch, takes out a little notepad, her little scrying pen, or scry stone pen, and looks exactly like the same one that Baradita Knott was using in her shop. Rips off the piece of paper and hands it to you, to either of you. Holds it out to both of you.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me which one of us takes it. I'll just take it. I'll put that in my book, like a leaflet or something. Okay, well, we've taken a look at that. We know where we're going.
So we just have to wake Regia up and I guess wait for Marcus to show up.
There's the note for you that she wrote. It's in the chat box. The kid's name is Gil Havershed. His parents are Grell and Forinti.
Excellent.
She pockets the pen and the notepad and nods. She's like, yeah, I know basically everything about this city, so... if there's anything I can do to help you, just let me know.
You say you know just about everything about this city, Finn. Do you ever hear some rumors back a ways about the Fingal Dingle and the family and perhaps some unfound rumors about the son?
About Nimblehorn?
Yeah, perhaps the circumstances of his birth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Those are old rumors. Like, obviously they're not true, but yeah, I'm familiar with them.
But you didn't happen to know who started that?
I do
By
actually
chance.
happen to know who started that rumor, or at least I have a strong suspicion.
Go on.
I didn't hear them say it, but I know that the first person anybody heard that rumor from was Faniel Dordescu.
Bingo. You hear that, Garma? We're not crazy after all.
Yeah, seems seems he just tried to lead us astray from the beginning.
You know what? Let's go find this Gil kid. Find out if Daniel hassled him. That gives us enough evidence to hassle Daniel. What do you say? At this point, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm willing to make that bet.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement.
Finn is looking between you and nodding. She's like, honestly, if I had gold on it, I'd feel confident about that bet too. Let's see.
Well,
It's
for the love of
just-
Zelikos, let's wake up Reza.
let her sleep. You're not gonna need her to talk to a kid.
Fair enough. Well, do you want to tell her where we went? I mean, she knows what our plan was, but you could
Sure.
at least let her know where we went.
Why don't you just come back
Well-
and get her after you're done talking to the kid?
That works even better.
I'll make sure
Yeah,
that
let her sleep.
I'll
Thank
make
you.
sure nobody bothers her.
Is Marcos with us? I didn't even ask.
Marcus is not downstairs yet.
Okay. I'm just noticing that. That's rude. Garma, have you seen Marcos? You were up before me.
I've been down here for quite a while and I haven't seen him yet.
Finn lowers her cigar. She's like, oh, he left like an hour ago.
He must have slipped out. That's all right.
Someone in some robes from the church came and went up to his room. I think he has some business to take care of. He didn't look particularly upset when he was leaving. He did look tired, though.
Yeah, so does Garma. That's maybe why you didn't notice. Well, Garma, we know where at least to find his house. Let's start there.
I mean, if you guys are heading out looking for Gil right now, I could... No, he changes his route. Yeah, you're probably better off heading to his house.
At least we can ask his parents if they ever came home, upset at some point, or maybe he had a bad day, around that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. Well, let me know if anything happened to the kid. He's like one of my favorite couriers.
Oh, we've yet to hear anything bad about him, so don't worry. We'll get vengeance accordingly, if it's needed. Hopefully not.
Well, with that, we're after 4 o'clock, so we know where we're headed with the next episode of the show.
Hunting a 12-year-old. Oh, right.
Hunting down a child.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
My God, you all right over there? Things get you must be getting some of that smoke from them Canadian wildfires, right?
Yeah.
All the way down in Texas, huh?
Yeah.
It's the sand. I don't know.
Oh goodness. Well, gentlemen, as always, it has been a pleasure. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good with next week if you guys are, but I'll follow up tomorrow on the Discord.
Excellent. We will resume our weekly check-in on Mondays, and
Indeed.
That sounds good to me.
All right, guys. You have a good rest of your weekend.
you do the same.
Me too. Be good.
See ya.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Sure.
Well, thank you, sir, for joining me. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me.
And thank you to all of the lovely lurkers out there. SMC, thank you for popping in. And for anyone else who happens to be out there, I hope that our antics in my little make-believe world was at least somewhat entertaining.
I didn't fuck a cactus.
You did not, sure. Physically.
We had a nice dinner. She ordered vegan.
Surprising. But yeah, we'll be picking up with another stream, I believe, tomorrow. We'll be back into our usual video game streaming. Not sure what I'm gonna stream. I'll make an announcement tomorrow once I've decided. But again, I hope everyone who's here has a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all on the next stream.
Be good, y'all.